I had three left on my list to watch, and my list filled up. It's like,
Stop.
Jimmy. We're live. So
woohoo!
Jeff was tired, so I'll take over for a little while. All right.
Hang on, let me get situated.
That's fine. We'll be here for a little while. I don't know if Serge made it over yet, but he was asking about the Firebird, so I'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll go. I'll talk about it.
Jimmy, why are we looking at your ceiling? Yeah, I got my movie buddy interested in looking at different art forms. He's a retired Navy, and he's picking up some new hobbies along the way. He's kind of getting bored with carpentry, so now he's got himself an etching machine, and he's doing laser etching.
Oh, nice.
And
cool.
He's sending me all kinds of stuff that he's worked on. He's ordered a bunch of wood and a bunch of different metals. And he was asking me the other day about he'd seen some people do woodwork and put ink in it to tint it a little bit. And he said, "What would you suggest doing with this and this and this and this?" And it's like, okay.
Greetings, strangers. Long time no see.
Yeah, we're gonna stop meeting like this. People are gonna start talking.
Yeah, let's give them something to talk about. All right. There we go.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Y'all hear me?
You know what? Personally,
Yep.
I don't mind if people want to talk. They want to talk, they can talk. I'll let them. As long as I know what the truth is, I really don't care.
How are you keeping it busy for hours? Give them something to talk about.
Right.
I mean, even lonely people got to have something to do.
Are you talking about me? No.
Yep.
You know, it's kind
Y'all
of.
hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I got my earbud in. Let's make sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've been lonely and getting lonelier in the last 3 years. And community streams like this, being able to hang out, has kind of helped that a lot.
Right? You know, I'm going to be honest. This is my social life.
Well, it definitely is mine because I got nobody outside my front door. No local friends, no co-workers, nothing. Just absolutely zero. Doesn't help that I live 50 miles in the sticks.
I like living on the edge of nowhere. I don't worry about random people showing up at my front door.
That happens too many times where I'm at, and I'm out in the sticks.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. People know that you don't just show up here.
We get the occasional.
You will be met with an act of violence if you come here uninvited.
Right?
My neighbors know that. We get random people doing that now, and we'll just send our dogs outside and tell them to leave.
No, I don't get randos. I very, very rarely, and usually the randos I get are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I have way too much fun to scare them away.
Oh,
The most random visitor we get is FedEx. It's always a different driver.
That's another thing. Our drivers are consistently the same people, and if somebody's different, you're asking like, "Hey, where's my regular dude?"
Yeah. Do you bump him off on the way over?
Right? Where's my regular dude? You're late, man. He comes at 3:05. It is 3:20.
Yeah. Something fishy going on here.
Even when the weather is crap, he's consistent. Where's my dude? What'd you do to him?
Yeah, the UPS men, they're consistent. They're the same guy every time because they have local routes up this way.
Yeah,
but the FedEx ones, they could be from
FedEx
anywhere.
are always the same.
My mailman's always consistent, and we don't like him. I've been to tell that mailman too many times to kiss my ass.
Well, we can tell if it's our regular mail lady or a substitute, depending on what time the mail finally gets here.
Yeah, I can tell if it's our regular carrier or a sub. if I don't see the mail truck come in the entrance on my side of the park.
Right.
Our regular driver literally comes right in here and passes by my house, but still has a problem with delivering anything bigger than a letter to my door. I wave at her when she drives by. It's
Wow.
like unbelievable. They're unbelievably lazy.
I'll be honest with you, they're not too much better than that here in Houston, so don't feel too bad.
Oh, the lady we
No,
had
about the
prior
same
to
here.
her retired, so
You know what's sad? It's not on that one. It's not even the company or the manager. It's the actual workers that make that one have a bad name. Unlike some things, we hate the company but don't mind the people. On this one, it's like we don't mind the company because we like, having our mail sent or received. It's just that the people play football with our model boxes and they come in all crunched. That ain't cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
the
had that.
worst thing I've ever had happen with a model is I ordered something through Amazon, and instead of them putting it into an envelope or a box, they put the shipping label right on the fucking box art.
Oh man, someone did
And
that
it
to
was one of
Matthew
those-
before too.
One of those boxes that wasn't even sealed. So
Yeah.
anything could have gone missing out of the box. And I'm like, I get this. And, I took pictures of it and I called customer service and I'm like, we keep these things. We don't necessarily open them and build them. This has no cellophane on it to protect it from your labels. And anything could have fallen out because this is an unsealed package.
Right.
And I complained to high heaven. They're like, oh, we'll send you another one. They didn't even ask for the one back. So I ended up with 2, which is fine with me.
Well,
As long
But
as I
how
can
much-
get it
how
to
much
fit into
product
an
are they
actual shipping
damaging
box, I
in the
don't send
process?
anything unless it is. And if I use something like a dehydrator box or something for say,
You could even wrap it in
usually
brown
write on
paper,
there. Contents is not what's on the outside.
Yeah.
I just wrap them in brown paper.
Exactly.
That way the
Yep.
problem's solved,
If I'm wrapping something, if I'm packaging something in a box, like say using a food
Thanks,
dehydrator
Jeff.
box,
Night, Jeff.
and then night, Jeff.
Not
But,
there.
If I'm using like a food dehydrator box to ship something else in, I will
hi,
wrap
Papa.
the food dehydrator box in brown paper and then put all the addressing and the labels and everything
Yeah.
like that.
And I mean, if you're out of brown paper, just cut the box down the side, flip it around, put the stuff on the
Yeah.
inside that you don't want, and then tape it back up.
That works as well.
But that doesn't stop them from playing football with it.
True.
No,
Yeah, I got tons of this
far.
skunk stuff laying around. I use it a lot of times for shipping.
Usually if a package is marked fragile, it's more likely to become a football.
Right? You've noticed that too,
It's an idiot magnet at that point, yeah.
or pictures do not bend.
Yeah.
Guaranteed to
And
get
you put a hard cardstock in there, and they do everything they can to try to shove it into a small mail slot.
Well, some of those things like a padded envelope that's small enough to fit with the mail envelopes, they go
Yeah.
through a machine for processing.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's the machine that'll do that, not necessarily a person. So that one I kind of give
Yeah,
a
but
little
if
bit
they're
of
actually
leeway,
a
but not a
flat
lot.
envelope, they normally should be fine.
Hey, like the mailman on the mailman dude from Seinfeld said, "We will not bend it. We will just crease it."
Yeah.
Sorry, that's still a bend.
right.
What's
Well,
I
up?
a bend
actually
could
walked
be a
up
nice
one
long
time.
curve, whereas a crease is an actual sharp angle.
Yeah, but still, you're bending it to some degree, and that's not acceptable. It's a flat package for a reason.
Right.
Newman, that was the mailman's name on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to
One
think.
time, I actually walked up on the person that was new to our route, and they were putting the mail in the mailboxes. And I was like standing right behind her, and I guess she didn't see me. And she went to go reach into her tray to get my mail, and I could see my flat envelope sticking up out of it. And she put the rest of the small mail into the box. And I went back for the big envelope, and as it was coming from one hand to the other, I could feel the bend vibe. I said, "So help me Christ, if you bend that, I will remove your fingernails with pliers." And she just
Yeah,
like
sure enough,
freaked
she
and
meant it.
dropped it. She freaked and dropped it. And I reached over, took my mail out of the mailbox, picked up my envelope, and walked away.
She said, "Don't fuck with this crazy lady."
All right.
No, I wasn't going. Yes, you were.
You
What reason
can't
would you
fool
have to have
me.
both hands on that envelope? Don't even lie to me. Hey, Butch.
But
Hey, Butch.
I didn't know I had a decent tarantula looking kit. Ooh. Projects.
Jeez, that's the fourth time I've heard sirens in the last hour.
Are any of you four familiar with the movie
That's pretty good.
Condor
Wait a
Man?
minute.
The Lawnmower Man? Yes, sir.
Condor Man.
Yeah, they
No.
do. It's like 10 pieces. Go ahead, go.
No, I can't say as I am that one.
It's a buttermilk ranch. It's pretty good.
I believe it was a 80s movie, a Disney movie actually.
That would be why.
It's kind of a espionage spy kind of movie,
Oh,
somewhat
definitely not
comedy, but it's a old school kind of comedy. It's not necessarily like slapstick kind of thing. He had a Sterling Nova, which is I guess it was a kit car, but it was actually produced. But I built
Hey,
a
Butch, how you doing tonight?
I built a 1/16 scale Lindbergh Corvette Aero
Big.
Coupe into what I'm considered a Sterling Nova style.
Cool.
Yum yum.
But seems that's a bigger scale one. I got the 124 scale Revell Aero Coupe. I was thinking about doing it again in a smaller scale because the 116 is pretty big.
Right.
But he also in the movie he also has a boat. I think the boat, the car, the set of wings with his outfit, and then there's 5 black Porsches that chase him. I've already built one of the Porsches.
You're welcome
the
to hop
leader
in if you
car.
want. Hey, Rascals Hobbies, you're welcome to hop in too if you like.
Greetings, Rascal.
Hey, Rabbit.
Hey, Rascal.
Well, I got a question for y'all. I'm sitting there eating. Are any of you all goofy eaters in public?
Depends on what you mean by goofy eater.
I'll
I'll
leave
be in
that to
public.
somebody else's
I'm an
opinion of how
obnoxious.
I'm eating.
I'm an obnoxious eater in public. I'll be like when I go to take a bath, I'll go, oh, yum yum, while I'm eating the shit.
Oh, that's
I don't know why. I'm just
annoying.
really obnoxious. Yes, I'm really.
You know,
obnoxious.
everybody I eat out with says I eat too slow.
Yeah, I'm one of the slower eaters.
I freaking do that.
Eating slower is
Buddies will
actually
be
better for your body.
Me and my buddies will be in, like at McDonald's or something eating, and I'll just be a fucking moron getting everybody laughing. Yum yum after every bite.
That just means you're dying for attention.
No, I'm just a goofy one in our group. I'm the one that makes everybody laugh.
A friend of mine in high school was like that.
No, it doesn't look like I'm
pop
doing.
around the idiot. He'd make the slurpy noises for you. I was like, dude, stop. Not even at the bottom of the cup yet. Don't make the noise. I wonder what happened to that old dope. I haven't heard from him in decades. I don't even know if he's still on this side of the dirt.
Would you mind if I did like a little slideshow thingy of some Condor Man car there, Bob? Share a little bit of my modeling ability history.
Honda, man, what?
Condor. It's a bird.
Sure.
It's a big bird.
It's a big fucking bird.
I'll share like 5 or 6 pics, you know, some of the original cars, some of the build, and then how I finished it. Dang it, get back here. That the right window?
I don't know. Is it facing outside?
I don't know if he made it over or not, but I'll show it anyway. And you can watch it on the replay if he wants. Let me switch my cameras.
Yeah, I don't see him in chat. So.
Yeah, I saw he asked about it after I was over setting up this stream, and by the time I couldn't be on both at the same time. Here you go. In case you're watching it on a later replay, Serge, it's the this is also the Tester's color shift paint. This is the green copper,
Oh, that's badass.
and we put some aftermarket wheels on it from Jay's Resin Wheels, and then that's the hood scoop from the '66 Nomad Pro Street, and then we put some high-rise dual quads in there to justify the hood scoop. On it, I do have the T-tops. I can't take them out. I just got a little blue tack hold them in so they don't fall out when I tip them over. Other than that, it's just a basic build. But yeah, it's this is Tester's color shift green copper over black base. This is the only one I've ever actually done the color shift over the black base. I usually do it over a different color.
Turned out
I
great.
use the turquoise a lot over
It's a little
green and
darker than
blues,
black.
and then the Mustang was the purple over. But, yeah, internet. My internet's being real unstable tonight, so if I disappear, that's why. But yeah, it's yeah, the camera doesn't pick up the shift to copper, but it does actually do it because it's probably because of the light. But yep, that's
Seems like it's picking it up a little better on your car than it did on my Charger body when I was showing it earlier on Fafa's.
Yeah, you can definitely see the chameleon effect. It's just
the cameras just seem to have a hard time picking up that color shift. I had the same problem when I was trying to film them for the videos.
Hey,
That the color
Like right-
and then outside,
like right
it's just
there.
the sun just blacks it out.
Yeah.
like
end up,
right there where you had the
finish.
passenger door up on
Yeah,
its
man.
side. You could see where the green went to the body line. You could see the color shift pretty well in there.
Big old puppy. What's him want?
Yeah,
What's he want? I ain't got no food. What you want? What you want?
Yeah,
I ate my food. What you want, dog?
For those who ain't aware of what Condor Man is, like I said, you know, this is a Sterling Nova that he drove in the movie.
Damn.
And as you can see, it's got like a big turbo jet thingy on the back. It even
Go on,
has
go.
pontoon type things that float and the big nose that they jump over and stuff. But the closest I could ever find was the Lindbergh 80 Aero Corvette. So aside from like the point in the nose of the windshield, which I didn't really want to cut because it's clear, it's brittle, you know.
Yeah.
But this kit was missing so many pieces. I was like, perfect car for it, perfect car for it, you know. And here you can see an actual Sterling Nova body with a kit car chassis that was custom made for it. Because this is really all it is a kit car.
Yeah.
Right. But they produced enough of them over the years. And as you can see, I made the rear template. And then I just took some styrene rods, filled it all in reasonably, and then started filling her in with a ton of Bondo, covering it. And I even got onto the window to get that little swoop in there instead of the hard angle. This one was a window that I filled in. You can see it had T-tops, but the original actually has a sunroof because he goes from the big truck down into this car. And the only way to get down in there is if the whole top was up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I based it all in a silver because I wanted a lighter base to it. Then I took the original dash and made a custom one because it had you can see the design on the dashboard up behind the wheel here. His dashboard was really interesting looking. So I kind of wanted to use that in a way. And then there you can see when I pulled the tape, it pulled some of the paint off and exposed the Bondo. But ended up getting it all touched up, and it turned out pretty badass.
Yeah. Looks
Wow.
good, bro.
That's cool.
And then for the bird, I used real car body wrap, purple to gold flop. And you can see these little checkers in here.
Mm-hmm.
I left it without heating it up to seal it, like you would stretch the actual wrap, so that those checkers stayed in there to give it more of the bird feather look,
Yeah.
rather than just
Mhm.
a smooth, plain, simple looking thing. But yeah, I didn't want to round this part off because it kind of didn't make sense to do that, you know.
Hmm.
But it ended up turning out pretty badass.
Yeah. Looks
That's
good.
And then there's the tail end of it.
Got a weird looking ass.
It does.
Yeah. That's
Not
what it looks
necessarily a
like.
nice ass, but you know.
That looks weird.
And as you
That's
can
the
see,
first
I
time it's
didn't
ever
even
come out
use
of my mouth. She has a weird ass.
Henry Robs.
I didn't even use a solid axle on it. I just used shafts that go in there, so I can always replace the wheels if ever I wanted to.
Yeah.
On the back, it's got a solid axle all the way through. But yeah, this is what the chassis was. There is nothing else under this car. So I just, I only wanted the car to look like the car. And
Right.
for the most part, it plays it off well enough. But like I said, this is 1/16 scale. And see here, you can see I started with a paper template to get the right width and length of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it onto my sheet. And I printed it out so I had basically where the lines were and stuff. But here you get a good view of the texture that's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out pretty cool. I just thought that was kind of a neat, fun build.
Oh, I see what you mean. It does look like wings, like a feathers.
Yeah, I mean, it gave it texture rather than just a smooth, flat finish, Like if I went to the Wraith, where's WR? This one, I actually used the same wrap, but this one you can tell it's super smooth. It doesn't have any checkers in it at all.
Oh, wow, that's cool too. What the hell is that?
That's the movie The Wraith.
Oh,
Now that one I have seen.
And that's the engine from The Wraith. Or my custom version of that engine. I don't have a picture of it opened in there. It's kind of hard to see. This picture sucks, but I mean, you get the basic idea of it. Trying to get these curves, this curve, and this curve. That's 3 corners with one piece. This whole nose is one piece with no cuts in it. Yeah, building this car was a blast, man. Had a lot of fun doing this one. Custom made the whole back end of it. There's a good picture of the back end. It's got its
Oh, wow.
strut rods, its own custom hinges that I had to figure out where the pivot points work and build all the structure around it. And there's another one where you can actually see the strut rods back in there.
Oh, nice.
Damn, man.
Their little rivet details, custom made springs, the whole fun stuff there.
What was your base kit you used for that?
Jaguar XJ220.
Nice.
Yeah, right here, this one. And the worst part about the whole thing was it had no glass. And if you look right here, you can see it was warped.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And with this, you can see how badly it was warped.
Oh, wow.
I'd
But-
say.
But here's where I was making templates to fill in the whole side panel, make my own windshield and cover because there was no glass with this kit.
Hey, Kevin.
But here you can see I was test fitting them on there. And once I made all the parts, I transferred them over to the sheet of paper. And then I ended up building 2 more of these using the same exact templates. And then I cut the doors out. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I gotta cut the back open on this thing too, you know? But this is where I figured out the size of the block that I needed for the motor and how much of this was all cut off of the Jaguar to put in there. That's my rear bulkhead thing that goes in behind here.
Damn.
These little fins, that's just strips like this on end that end up going in where the hood is open.
Mm-hmm.
There you can see my resin engine. You know, it's clear so you can see through it. Use a little dye in there so that our printer ink to use the red. Made my own little tail panel thing for the tail lights and the rear fascia stuff. Here's the hinges. Trying to figure out where that point is going to have to be. You know, because the rest of this is like the bumper and the tail light and then the top of the body. To where is this pivot point need to start and finish? There's some of the rear structure. You can see I just used like I-beam
Mm-hmm.
for most of it. Cut little corners, little strips, little ends, making all of that fun little stuff. And there's my little pile of parts that I decided to use for my motor. Just a random collection of stuff. It's like, yeah, that'll work. Oh, that'll work. And it's got the door opening, trying to figure out where this pivot point needed to be. When it came to the hinges, they had to go in, straight down, and then back
Mm-hmm.
in order to get that arc that it needed to clear when you go over the fender.
Yeah.
But they needed to go so far down, but the pivot point had to be way up here in order to get it to rise. And then I built all the flat platforming and everything else inside there. And there's the 4-piece, well, actually it's like 6 pieces to make the hinge. And you can see where I was building the little eyelets for the shocks and things like that.
Damn.
That's the back of it. There we go. That's a decent picture.
Damn.
Yeah, it's all custom made from. This is a garage sale sign right here. And like I said, I just take a palm sander and I clean all the garage sale off of it at one time rather than trying to do it in little chunks. Because then even a pencil will actually stick to it, basically.
Yeah.
There's got to be one in here where it shows the doorway stuff, I think. There's my dash and my door panels and the spoiler. But there's with the motor. You can see the little wires running around. That's actually for the electricity that sparkles in the car. And as you can see, it's got like blue lights going on. Kind of a wicked thing.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's kind of a shitty picture here. Yeah, even harder to see with that one, but you can see I made the flat here and the 4 pieces of the door and everything else. And it took quite a bit to make it work, but turned out pretty freaking badass, man.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, you wouldn't know that that wasn't made out of glass or clear plastic. This is actually just plastic.
Well, if I remember right from the movie, the car in the movie, even the front windshield was pretty dark on that one too. So
Yeah, the original car is dead dark.
yeah,
You know, like here you can see the sparkles from the engine.
yeah,
This is what I was trying to replicate, and this is where I figured out how to build the design of the shape and where the airbox, and which is really funny because the original motor is a 2.2 turbo. This is the real car right here.
yeah.
And so I tried to figure, okay, they had some in here. They may have computer edited some of the parts out or whatever, because obviously it didn't have all the wiring in there. Plus, they computer graphicked over it, you know. But this is where I saw the hinge back here, and I was like, man, that's a big bulky thing. But now I figured out why.
Yeah.
Is because these 2 strut rods are what actually go to the other end of the hood to give it some support so it doesn't wiggle, you know.
And also, a lot of times what they do with that is they'll have multiple versions of the car. They'll have the one that's used for actually driving around and doing the motion shots, and then they'll have a prop piece.
They only made 4 bodies of this car for the movie. There was the factory original one that they were allowed to take close-up pictures with and have the door open on, but they couldn't show the engine or certain other parts. They made a second one on a Volkswagen chassis for the driving parts, and then they had 2 bodies that were just the body with tires set down underneath them for when the cars hit and explodes, right?
Yeah.
And there's only one of those bodies that still remains. Every other version that's out there is either this actual tan one in the museum. Charlie Sheen owns one, and then the factory has another test mule. Where's the test mule? This one right here. This is the test mule with the big wing on the back. I want to build this version of it someday, which is more of a mauve color. But this is badass. This is the one that they got. How fast will it go? You know,
Right.
But that's, to me, that was just a great fun build, and I enjoyed it a lot. Where's Wraith 2? This was my second one that I built. It turned out pretty good. I wouldn't say as good as the first one because the headlights were different, the side vents, and then there was some issues with the wrap on this one, but it turned out pretty good. You know, side by side, they both look good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You got more patience than me, man, I will say.
I got some patience. Sadly, they don't pay the bill.
Right.
But yeah, now I got a buddy that I bought a third one from. Well, actually, I bought 2 from. Where is it? This one? Yeah, I bought these 2 cars from him. This one I have finished in the cream color, like the one in the museum.
Yeah.
I had to scribe all these lines. This is his picture before I got it in my possession, right? So when I got it, this is my picture. I smoothed it out, sanded it out, started drawing lines on it, started scribing some stuff on there, smoothing it out a little bit here and there. And then where's the tan? There's the tan. You can see all the lines are scribed into it now.
Yep.
This one actually looks pretty decent, and I got the top painted in black now and stuff. And then this is the extra body. Believe it or not, this is I believe a Lumina stock car is what he started with on this one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he cut it and he dropped this back and filled this area in. all kinds of stuff. But this was a stock car. And this
I mean,
body,
I guess I can kind of see it from the side almost a little bit.
yeah, I mean, it'll work as a starting platform because it has this body curve to it. It just needs to be contoured, smoothed in, or whatever. But yeah, this was my other one. You can see it almost looks completely smooth all the way from the top to the bottom. But
Yeah.
there's actually, it comes down, then goes out, and then curves back down again. It's not one big bubble. But and then of course I got Augie's car and I got Rughead's truck.
Oh wow.
I want to get
That's cool.
something for the Corvette. Plus I got Minty's Trans Am.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is Minty's demise right there. This is after it got shot up and fixed, and you can see the little paint chip in the decal down here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That had to be in the model.
Right.
And this was before it got shot. But I took a little picture of the two getting ready to race.
I've never seen that movie. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Oh, dude, it's a great movie. Where's Mopars? Daytona. Do-do-do. This is Augie's car right there. Augie Fisher. He was one of the first to die in the movie.
Oh.
And that one turned out pretty damn nice. I actually enjoyed doing that one. Put a decent little 4-banger up in it. But yeah, that was a fun little paint job. Decent little two-tone tan interior. And then, of course, because I had two of them, I had to do the MPC version. That thing's just badass, if you ask me. Old
That thing
school
is-
colors, nice and bright, big V8 in there.
Definitely very.
Like I said, I can build some decent stuff, but like here, you can see on the top fender, it's not high gloss. It's not super nice. It's just nice, you know. Back bumper don't line up perfect, stuff like that. I'm not that
That's all
picky of a builder, really.
As long as you were happy with it and it looks good on your shelf.
Right.
That's the big thing, you know. I build for me, always have, and when I got into the group build stuff, I started building for other reasons, and it didn't feel right, didn't fit right, hindered my
Yeah.
building, so I just jumped out of the builds. I was, I'm just gonna build for me. I'm gonna build what I build, you know.
And that's the way you should. I mean, I've said it many times. Many other people have also said it. Once you purchase that kit, it's your kit. Build it the way you want. Build it in a way that's going to make you, the one who has to look at it every day once it's done, happy with it.
Yep. Or at least happy enough to put it on a shelf.
Oh yeah.
You know, when Dart was talking about the shamed models, and I was like, even the worst model I put together got to the point where I was so disgusted I didn't want to put it on the shelf. It still sat next to the rest of my models until I either redid it or put it in a box or whatever, you know.
That's why I built this car hauler for this big car trailer. All the cars I'm not happy with are on this big car trailer kind of clumped together.
I wouldn't know, Kevin. Yeah, I build, you know, like I was saying before about the creativity expression, you know, like I want to try this material, like one of my Chevy trucks. I wanted to do a plaid interior on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my mom if she had any small plaid. Well, she had a checker that was kind of plaid, but it didn't have no stripes in it. So I took my transparent Duplicolor, the green, the yellow, the red, the blue, the green, you know, the colors.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the sheet and I cut them into like little picture size, you know, 4x6 or something, big enough to do an interior of a car. I sprayed each one with a different color.
Kevin Curb is talking on.
And then I took my metal ruler and a white fabric pencil, the white pencil, and I drew all the lines back and forth to make a plaid. And then I cut it out, put it on the inside of my seats and my dash. And now I have a green and charcoal with green plaid interior. It looks kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Boston. Anybody else I might have missed? Welcome in. You're more than welcome to jump in if you want, or just hang out in the chat. That's up to you. We're just hanging out, shooting the ball.
You can come in. You can
I'm
hang
filling
out. Or you
pinholes
just
on
play.
my hearse today.
Greetings, Aries.
Yeah.
Hey, Aries.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah, them Landau pieces turned out pretty nice.
Now that I got my Herson primer, I'm seeing all the imperfections in it that I still need to fix. So that's what we're working on.
All
Here.
the little stuff.
Yeah, all the little stuff, but you also did a lot to it already. So.
Yeah, well, like the mold line that runs along the side, I didn't see that until it was primered. So now I'm going back and I'm
Yeah,
fixing
same.
that.
It's on
A lot of the stuff on
and
top.
it's on the new one.
A lot of the stuff on the roof I'm not worried about because I'm going to stipple paint the vinyl top on, so that you're not going to see that. But then I filled in like the antenna hole and the hole for the spotlight. I filled those in, so now that I got primer on, I can see that those are still
Low
still
spots.
not flush. I can still see the ghost.
That sounds yummy as hell there, boss.
Welcome, Andrew.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How are you this evening?
Just 1 sec. We're right back.
All right, we'll be here.
Hey Bob, do you know anybody that does 1/16
Yeah.
scale parts?
As in like 3D printed or resin or anything?
3D printed would be fine. I need to replace this engine or most of it.
I have one of those.
You
big
should be able to
trucks.
just scale it up.
I have one of them big
That's
trucks.
what I've got
It's
done
not
for the
not the
wheel.
Swamp Monster, but it's the same exact kit. You know, if you need the engine or engine parts or everything or whatever, I'd trade you one for one if I can afford the shipping. You know,
Where are you at? Where you're at?
Wisconsin, USA.
Well, okay, I'm in Michigan, so
Oh, so it'll only cost half of an arm and 2/3 of it.
a couple of fingers, yeah.
Oh, you didn't mention them, damn it.
Pinky finger and the ring finger on your left hand. You know.
Hey, you can have the ring finger. I don't want one of them on there.
Nah.
But no, you could bubble wrap them and they would make it.
Yeah, as far as that, you should be able to.
Yeah, that
You
wouldn't
can probably
be that
just scale up a
expensive.
3D print from 23 to 16.
Yeah, if I could find one.
That's what I did for the wheels for the Mustang here this week. I got a guy
I
to
guess
in that
scale them
sense-
up and print them for me, so I should have those.
In that sense, it all depends on, are you trying to build it box stock like, or just want a motor? Because, you can buy a 396, a 454, or a
Yeah, I was
327.
gonna do it box stock, and I said I had to mess up and melted the pieces pretty bad. You guys saw the pictures.
See if Donald prints up like a blown big block Chevy for it or something.
Well, that's why I asked her if she was doing stock, so she doesn't want to do custom.
Yeah, because I like how the stacks come out the head and that.
Yeah,
so
the
I don't want
exhaust.
to change anything. Yeah.
The demo derby exhaust is what I'd consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would you want for it if you sold it? Because I don't believe anything else is missing out of the kit. I think it's all there, but on the off chance that it is, I would rather have extra truck parts.
As I said, my offer would be my parts for your parts, so that I still have a motor to put in mine, even if I make my own pulleys and a rubber band or a heat shrink tape for the belt and different carburetor or whatever. You know, I'm all good with putting a bigger block or a different block or whatever in my truck, but you know, if you need like the carburetor, alternator, starter, fan belt, fan, and what was the other piece?
Hold on. Let me see what I wrote 'em
I want
all
to say
down.
there was 6 pieces, but whatever. You
I
know what I
think it
mean.
was.
He can make.
Oh, the water pump.
What a
You know, I mean, your head and the intake parts were all good yet, right? Or were they
Yeah, the intake is fine. The block and that is fine.
right? So basically, you just need the accessories that go on the
But
block.
yeah, just the small bits. The water pump,
Right.
the alternator, and the starter. Those both have 2 parts. And the carburetor.
Biggest challenge for me would be getting out in the garage and finding the right box.
The fan, the pulleys, etc.
Because yeah, I bought a parts
transfer
kit.
case is fine.
I bought a parts kit that, well, I mean, it's mostly there. It's just got some broken pieces like the leaf springs and some other stuff, you know. But I'd be more than willing to swap your parts. So, like I said, that I'm not missing too many. That way, you can get an actual part for the kit rather than have somebody make one that's slightly off or whatever.
Okay.
Let me find it first, and obviously
yeah,
we
see
see
if you
each
can
other.
find
enough to
it.
be chats, and
Yeah.
I'll let you know once I find it, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and like I said, I haven't
Hey, Bart.
really. Hey, Dark. I haven't, looked at any files. I haven't asked anybody else either. So.
Yeah, I'm willing to help you out on that one, no problem. Like I said, first things first, let me find it. We'll make contact from there and go from there.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Listen, I still got to go through the rest of the box, but I'm pretty sure everything else is there. The only thing
that big
that's in
truck
question
Terry, right?
is the
Check.
spindles.
I was gonna say, check all the leaf springs and stuff. Make sure you don't need one of them. The kit that I have isn't the monster. It's more of the 4x4, the can one. So my leaf springs might be lower, but if you got a broken one of them and need it, or a drive shaft might be the same length, or
No, drive shaft is fine. I remember seeing that in the box.
no
I haven't
issues
gone
with the
through-
steering linkage or any of that kind of stuff, because the axles.
A lot of it is off the trees, so I gotta just kind of go through it.
Inventory it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get that far before we make contact again, anyway. So.
Yeah, not likely. The way my days go.
Well, you never know. I can procrastinate going out in the garage. If it gets cold, I ain't going out there. It's kind of hard to dig through small parts boxes when you got mittens on, you know?
Yeah, right?
It's like for St. Patty's Day, we used to do this candy bowl challenge where they're all individually wrapped candy, you know, like peanut butter cups and twisted, candies or whatever. You put these big old chopper mittens on with no fingers, and you go up there, you grab a piece of candy, you got to open it, eat it, and then run to the back of the line, and the next person goes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun to watch.
That doesn't work when you got mittens on.
Yeah, it's a struggle. It's fun to watch. It's just irritating to be a part of it when it's your turn. Oh, this will be easy. God damn, why is it so hard? So are you going to repaint the pink stuff pink that belongs on the truck, like the roll bar and stuff like that were meant to be pink?
I don't know what I'm going to do with the paint yet. I just would like to be able to build the truck and I fucked up.
Right. I know I have a couple of parts that I need to make a mold of that I can cast, because it has 4 rims, but I only have 2 of them. and they're unique to the kit, and there was never another kit anything remotely like it in the world. So I have to use the originals to make the mold, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at that kind of thing, so. And I don't want to give them to somebody to make the mold and have them send them back, because that could take
Risk losing them in the process. Yeah.
Yeah, go from having 2 rims to having 1. You know?
Or none. Yeah.
At least with 2 rims, I can put them on one side and keep it to the side, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Only face that side out. Yeah. Another thing that's sucky about that kit is you have to put the fucking tires together.
Yeah, the 2-piece big monster truck.
Yeah.
With the tiny rim. I always thought that was odd, but that's also kind of its charm.
Yeah, I hate having to put tires together like that. They should have made them solid.
If you take some of that silk flower foam or even styrofoam and cut it to fit in there so that it has some structure behind it.
I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get to it. We're gonna probably be starting the builds for senior pretty soon, and once I start that one, everything else is gonna get shelved. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still need to find my Bill Elliott car to do it.
that's what I'm doing. All my current projects that I had been working on, they're currently on pause while I'm doing my senior stuff. So,
Yep.
Yeah, when life throws you a curve, you either zig or you zag.
Damn, where is it fitting?
Yeah, I probably won't jump in on building a new memory of senior because, like I said, when I first met him, we got pushed together into doing a buddy build with the Boot Heel Express, and I built one, and I have it. It's done, so that's my memory of Terry.
Oh, you need
my honorary sticker. Build is already done.
You just need the kiss my ass sticker, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, mine has to do with something that he and I talked about. So that's why I was kind of glad they left it as an open build. That way we could all tell our story if we wanted to.
Yep.
I think the only thing I would add to mine as of now going forward would be a coffin with a butt sticking out.
That would be good. Would be
I mean,
funny.
It is a coffin carrier, you know.
That would be funny.
I don't see anything else being so appropriate. You know?
Yeah.
Kiss it right here.
Yeah, I started fumbling with this kit because it had some pre-painted, and the engine was partially assembled and painted, and I got sidetracked by the stupid and melted apart.
What would you guys use for like a hovercraft kind of airbags that are on the bottom? The flotation rubber?
Rubber black from Tamiya.
No, not paint color wise, but an actual material. I mean, looking at the movie car, I could probably get away with like a big pen, but because it's not like it has the slits or grooves in it, it's one long tubular looking thing. But
Heat shrink tube.
Heat shrink tube, yeah. That
might
definitely
work,
has
yeah.
the color, the texture, the everything.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you can get it in anything from super tiny diameter to very, very large.
Yeah, I have one of those variety pack boxes, the little clear cases. And the neat part is if you take the biggest heat shrink tube and cut a little slice off the end of it, you can use that for your belts, your pulley belts.
Yeah.
Yep. You can also get it in multiple colors as well. Comes in black.
Yeah, if you want to be part of the Pride Parade, you can.
Make
Just
one of them
throwing that out
Pride
there, you know.
50s. That'll make it fabulous, man.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Did that just snap in or did it break something?
Sounded like a
The
snap.
answer to that is yes.
Snap, whatever it was.
Either it's locked in now or it's kind of weak.
Okay.
Is that somebody's doggo woofing in the distance?
Yeah, that's my girlfriend. She's laughing at me or a movie, one or the other. Or both.
Same scenario.
This ain't no to me a kid, but it's detailed as fuck.
She's laughing about how beautiful Bob is.
Yeah, that's what she's laughing at. I guess
Weather
it's
needs to fuck off so this head cold will go away.
okay. Come on, so you're gonna work. This ain't going in any model show that I know of. So.
Okay. That should be my.
Okay. Drugs are bad. Okay.
What'd you say?
Anything cool on this website? Anything cool? Ooh, he's got slot mags. Ooh, it's got slots. Ooh, he's got slot mags. You got any Mickey Thompson?
Surge.
There he is.
About
You come in now?
maybe a half hour ago, Bob showcased his green Firebird for you.
I'll get it back out here in a minute.
Welcome back, by the way. Or
Have to go pay the water bill anyway.
Go for me while you're out there.
Put it in the new stream.
I found that doesn't usually work. You still gotta get up and do it yourself eventually.
Yeah, but if he does it for me, I don't have to think about doing it for a few more minutes. I'm good.
Yeah, it just prolongs the inevitable.
It's a mental thing, you know. It's like if somebody agrees to do it for me, I don't think about it until I absolutely have to.
Oh, thank God for the distraction.
Then your kidneys reach up and tap you on the shoulder and go, that's not how we work.
Problems at work. Seems like a daily thing for most people.
Yeah, especially when you work with a bunch of lazy motherfuckers. You gotta go.
It's Sunday. You know?
It's a problem to be there. It's a problem you got to do their work because they did. Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle.
Or you're doing your job and their job while they're on there. That pisses me off.
That sounds too much like work. No, I have an agreement with my friend Mateo at work. We both put in $20 on the two big lotteries because they're so stupid high right now. And we both agreed that if we win, we split everything 50-50. We'll buy the company and start cleaning house from the inside.
There you go.
I think there might be some better investments out there, but yeah, okay.
No,
The motive works.
306 mini marts, gas stations, and full stores. No, we get rid of the CEO, we revamp the board, and get rid of a select few people at specific locations. And trust me, I can make the company what Heinrich Meyer had as his vision, and it'll make Fred dance. Now it'll go back to supporting the local farms. It will not be corporate. I will destroy it.
Yeah, corporate's a bad thing.
That's what happened to us in the 80s. They
Greeting,
gave us a
Joe.
board and a CEO, and they ruined the company. They ruined the entire concept of what Heinrich Meyer wanted as a business.
Here you go, Serge. This is the Firebird. If you want to check out my playlist under Acme Firebird, and it was about 3 months ago. I guess it was like November, December when I built it. You use the Tester's color shift paint on it. To the color shifting on it now. I found an angle that works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I told you it shows a little. It's
There you go.
a cool color.
Is that the Formula Firebird or the GTA?
It's they just call it the Firebird. It's a GTA, but the hood's kind of a GTA hood. Then I added the hood scoop from the 66 Nova Pro Street on it. And then the wheels are from Jay's Resin Wheels. They're the late 80s style 5-spoke wheel.
Well, those
Other
are
than that, it
T-tops.
sits right out of the kit. Well, I did the engine. We put a dual quad high rise on it. Added plug wires to it and stuff. There goes Mandanet again. There we go. Yeah, we got the T-top. I just got them in with a little blue tack so that they don't fall out, but they're not glued in or anything.
He's asking if
There you
that's
go,
the
sir. Yeah,
Tester
so the
green gold.
videos are on the builder. Yeah, this is the color shift green to copper.
In the
And
morning.
this is the only one actually on the color shift that I actually used the black base coat. Everything else I've used a different color base coat on it. But yeah, it turned out real well. I'm real happy with it. There's the underside, just real basic. I don't do a lot to the bottoms. You never see the bottoms anyway. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, I was singing that in my head too.
Whoever else came in.
Yeah, I've been
Hey, Dart.
getting some laundry put up in the machine real quick. So that's kind of what I've been farting around with.
You can do mine.
So, Dart, I think it's official.
I'm
You need to change your channel name.
doing my own.
Need to change your channel name from Dart Cave to Baloney Cave.
Yeah, baloney.
Every time somebody says baloney, my childhood 70s brain sings the Oscar Mayer song. In the kid's voice from the commercial.
Brownie is the first name.
It's OSC.
It's OSCA. My brownie has a second name.
It's MAYER.
Hot dogs. Armor hot dogs. All kinds of kids like Armor hot dogs.
Armor hot dogs suck. Dearborn sausage for the win.
We won't do the one banana song because Jess went to bed already, so we can skip that.
Yeah, she can do that one tomorrow.
Baby shark, do. Don't fall asleep, Ed.
Oh, don't worry.
It's too
I'm
early
good.
for that shit.
I've had another day where having the entire day off, I slept till 1 o'clock again. So
There you go.
Yeah, if I slept that long, people would think I was dead. My dog would be trying to get in my room, like, "Are you okay?" Even the cat would get concerned. Okay, and this cat could give a shit about anything.
whereas tomorrow I can't do that. Tomorrow I got to be up at 5 a.m. for work. So but I'm still going to be up till after midnight.
It happens.
Between being mild insomniac and a night owl, if I'm able to get to bed before midnight, I'm doing really good. Either that or I got to be extremely tired.
The only time I actually really sleep more than 3 hours a night is if I actually get sick, which is very seldom. And then I'll like sleep most of a couple of days away, and then I'm fine.
Yeah, I would say model car garage, or it really comes down to if you're using Google to put in certain key search words, like resin aftermarket hood, scale 124 or 5. Google search isn't that great, so you got to feed through a bunch of shit.
Like a ZL1 hood scoop, you could probably just get that as a separate part, have it glue and glue it on.
Another suggestion would be like if you look on eBay for resin model hoods, you'll find a bunch of cowl hoods and a bunch of other stuff, right?
Right, and make sure you cross-reference, because some of those people charge a lot of money, and all they do is buy a bunch of stuff off somebody else and resell it.
Let me finish.
There's one feller I usually
Yes,
been using on
hold on a
eBay,
minute.
and he does a really good job.
Find somebody on eBay who sells a lot of various style hoods for model kits. Contact them and ask him if they make a hood for that car. At least then you're not spending money, you're not wasting time with somebody who's scamming or other. You're looking for a person who does print that or makes that aftermarket wise. Because he's looking for a Firehawk or Trans Am style hood for it or whatever, It'll narrow the search and speed up the time of finding it. As far as photo etch stuff, what is it? Detail Master?
Yeah, Detail Master has nice stuff.
And
speed. Protect, that's it.
Protect,
the pink labels, right?
Yeah, that's Protect. Protect is the pink label. Detail Master is the white label.
Or yellow.
Either way,
depending on how old they are, yeah. I like the Detail Masters miscellaneous items one. It's like a junk box. It's got Chinese takeout box, sunglasses, keys,
clipboard,
tapes, skateboards, handcuffs, all kinds of random shit. Coat hangers. It's just junk.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Firehawk had the big scoops way up towards the grill. The front of the hood, I should say.
Yeah, it's kind of like the later GTA ones, the W6s or whatever, WS6 Firebirds, like 2002.
Right. Yeah, them W6s have become an instant classic all of a sudden. If you're trying to buy a real one, expect to pay a ton.
Yeah.
It was like an underrated supercar at the time, and now it's just a muscle car classic that everybody's like, "Oh, dude, I didn't realize how awesome they were."
I'm a little surprised the way some of the '90s, like the Camaros, Firebirds, even the '80s Camaros and Firebirds have gone up in price. That's what I'd love to find one of like a '90s Camaro Firebird. And man, they're just a little bit more than I would pay for.
Yeah, it all depends. If you have the photo etch scripts for a car, you're best to shave it off, get it nice and smooth with your paint job and everything, and then put it on after. But a lot of people, they'll either cover it in bare metal foil, trim it all out nice, and then paint the car, and then just buff the paint off of the raised edge
That's what I
to
do. Yeah.
expose the bare metal underneath it. I mean, there's a few different ways to go about that. Some take a little bit of the chrome paint and dab it down on like wax paper, and then take an eraser and just
Yeah.
use the flat edge of the eraser to touch it, you know.
I use the eraser trick on tires.
I'll use a toothpick. I'll take it. I'll
That
take
works too. Yeah.
a tall pin and put some in like a soda bottle cap or something, and then dip a toothpick into it.
Good idea.
Another trick for like chrome scripts on a car like the SS badges and things, a chrome gel pen. You know, if you can just raise it back and forth over top of the script without going so deep that you're actually touching the body, it's a lot easier to control than say like a 2mm Molotov, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which carries so much paint that it'll bleed down in between it and kind of cover everything. And if you do that, just go back with some black wash to get a black behind it, you know, kind of thing. But kind of depends
Yeah,
on which
yeah.
car, which color you're running, you know, because some of them scripts, they were thick enough that they actually had like the black goo behind it that stuck it to the car.
Mhm.
Dart.
I got
I
pretty good
couldn't
at
stay away from my favorite people.
that. Baloney Cave.
We've created
Well,
a
that's just-
monster.
I would say the next person that calls me baloney cave, I'm gonna kick them in the no-nos. But then Marcy would say it, and then I wouldn't be able to do nothing.
So start
This
coming
is
in.
Am I
my
wrong?
no square.
Am I wrong, Marcy?
No,
You
no.
would, wouldn't you?
This is
Uh-huh,
my
see?
square.
I might.
Now I know Jimmy has seen The Boys.
I love them motherfuckers. Them dudes are funny.
Again, virtual reality idiots, man. The narrator.
Oh my god. I love
This is
watching
funny
stupid
shit,
stuff
man.
like that. Stupid stuff
What is
like
there?
that. It will make me laugh.
What is there? 5 or 6 guys that make up The Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Another
funny
good one.
shit, man.
Another batch of funny dudes I love watching are the Goons, if you've heard of them. But and they're kind of similar to the Boys, but it's not VR. They're fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that out there that made it pretty good, you know, pretty good splash on the tube.
Was that the sound of adult beverage?
Only kids
What?
would ask.
That's a Firehawk there.
I see a spinny thing in the middle of
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say all I'm
background.
seeing is spinning.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
see some
even in the studio,
gray
all I'm
leaves.
seeing is a spinny.
I'm looking at the studio. The other tab is not showing.
Yeah, I put it on the live stream part on YouTube so I can keep up with the chat.
Well, I have both tabs open, but there's everybody. I just keep the StreamYard tab because it's in better time. The other one lags. YouTube actually lags back a little, and then I pop the chat out and just click it so it's the window on top so I can see it.
He did what to you, Kevin?
As far as how to keep flocking from spreading,
Probably Kevin, because he's blocked a bunch of us.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
I should
Serge,
send
another way
you
to
the
do that-
long-winded, pointless, ignorant text that he sent me.
go ahead, Bob.
You're probably the only one that hasn't read it.
No, he's not. I have it, and I don't want it.
You heard the short version of it though when I mentioned it.
Probably. Not that I kept it in my mind, to be honest.
Yeah, I know you did because it was a full house night and everybody was here.
In my defense, I don't remember what I had for breakfast, though.
That's like Kevin. I just jumped on there and I could hear them all talking and shit. Maybe.
Him and his 12 buddies.
I don't know. It is none of my business, and I told everybody I am staying out of all this shit. Told Jeff
he
that,
made it,
and I
he
told
made it
him
easy.
that.
He's the one that took the walk. It's like, whatever. I'm gone 4 days. I come back, and I'm totally off all his social media, blocked here, blocked there, whatever, and doesn't even do me the courtesy of an explanation until almost 2 o'clock in the morning the next day. And then it's some long-winded bullshit text that basically sounds like a 70s TV show, game show with a parting gift. It's like, fuck off. If you're gonna go, just go. No.
Think I'm fucking up.
I think
Serge,
that
once you get
might
the
help
block
answer
glued
your
down,
question there.
You got to clean all the excess out.
What was that, Bob?
Oh, Serge was asking about flocking. Said you gotta let it dry and then you get all the excess out to keep it from sticking to your windows and stuff.
Yeah. I told Jeff that in Boston, and I told him in an email I'm staying out of all of it.
Yeah, I would think there's some kind of like anti-static, some kind of a spray or something you can put on the inside of the windows that won't fog it, haze it, or discolor it or anything, and it'll keep it from wanting to pull off the dash and stick to the clear window.
Another thing you can do, Serge, is after you're done with your flocking and you've tipped your interior over and you've tapped it to knock off all the excess, when you flip it back over, spray some matte clear coat on it.
Real thin coat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enough to lock it in.
Somewhere between a mist and a medium coat.
Or you can use very, very diluted white glue because it dries clear. Anything to tap
That
it
as
down.
well. That as well. Like a Mod Pod. Water down some Mod Pod.
Yeah, that's
Mod
kind of how
Pod's
they
would be
do like
more
Locking
sticky.
Elmer's glue.
that's
Yeah,
kind of how they
Elmer's glue
lock
would be
down the
better.
grass on terrains. And things.
Yeah, the same thing. Yep. Mod Podge would be
Concept.
tacky for a very long time and may not dry clear. Whereas the school glue,
Elmer's
when you dilute
white
it,
glue, brother.
yep. When you dilute it, use distilled water. Don't use faucet water because you don't want the minerals involved.
I just use the peel
Distilled water in the glue.
felt, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, or just use felt. Felt works, and you can get felt super cheap. Because
Oh, I
the
know I'm not
flocking-
bad on there, man. I was
flocking
I
is
was talking to her a little bit earlier.
expensive, and all it is shredded felt.
No, I don't know. I might be now. I called Jonathan a cousin fucker. He wasn't real happy.
Did you kick his sister in the jaw and you got neutered?
Nah, he said something. Me and Jonathan just fucking with each other. None of this was serious. Obviously, he
Thank God, I was
said
like-
something about gingers, and I called him a cousin fucker with his cousin, his sister cousin.
I thought
be
I was
right
like,
back.
more fucking drama. I don't want it.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm sure some of you have legitimate beef. I just don't want it. I whined. Did everybody hear
No,
me
I don't
whine?
either.
It
I
was
don't have beef. I love
momentary.
it. I like
We'll
everybody.
bear with it.
All right.
Now you can officially. The whiner's here when he comes in. I'm fucking up. I do believe. But I wasn't happy with it either way, so let's fuck it up more. Oh, wait, I forgot. We're not supposed to be cussing. I'm sorry.
Why do you paint them so much?
No.
Oh man, I sent my buddy a couple. My buddy's getting into modeling, and I sent him a couple of my kits, pictures of the kits I've done.
Bless you, Ed.
And he asked me, how do you get your paint looking so nice? I'm like, dude, you didn't zoom in on them photos very well. I sent you probably some of the shittiest paint jobs I have.
I'm trying wet sanding for the 30th time.
No, I sent him a photo of this Camaro. This Camaro has a thumbprint on the door.
You count like I do, Dart. That's only the 28th time.
I'm nervous. I'm as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Somebody just popped out.
Just dropped my phone.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. I did it again.
Mini Mike.
I get
Mini Magic.
I get to paint this one again.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Mini Mike?
You know, when I used to sketch, I used to like drawing with pencil, and then one day somebody said, "Why can't you do that with pen?" I said, "You can't erase the mistakes." And he said, "Well, you just got to make the mistakes fit the picture." Now I don't draw with pencil anymore. I draw with pen. I let my mistakes become part of
Hey,
what
Moped Mike.
I burned through on this body line.
Dart, I think you can feel better about Baloney Cave. At least you aren't Moped Mike.
What do we?
That's why.
dead-
Whenever I was getting called worse before, so I'm good now.
We love you, Dart.
So some of the things was kind of rough.
I might need a little more clarification on that question. I'm not really sure.
On the panel, what do you guys consider dead models? Like kits we've started and quit fucking with because they were ass, or just shitty kits to leave alone? Like crappy
I
kits
think
to
that's
not
a builder
buy.
skill issue more than a kit issue. But
What? I wasn't listening.
well, the question's on the screen there, but he's asking what do we
Like that
consider
country-
dead models?
Like
None
that
of them
country
until
charger,
you
people
decide you're
complain
done
about
with
it constantly. Like that country charger, people complain about all the time. The only issue I had with that kit was all the flash. Was there a lot of flash? Yeah, but did I clean it up and throw some nice rims on it? Yeah.
Well, see, I don't consider that making it a dead model in any way. I mean,
No.
that's why I said, you know, I could use a little more clarification on the thing, because what do you mean by a dead model?
Yes.
Yeah,
chassis.
this is good. Yeah.
Like email, or were you talking to me in the chat? Because I left. I had to go to Rule King, and then I went and got some dinner earlier, so I didn't pay attention to chat very much tonight.
Marcy.
Oh, like a rebuilder.
Well, see, I'm a
Oh, I
very
seen that.
big
Yeah.
glue bomb rebuilder, and you can send me something that is so dead gone glue bombed. I can still make it work.
So Mike, I will. I might be there because Friday we're leaving for Branson, and we won't be back till Monday. So I didn't want it to get delivered and set in front of my house and must not be home. But I guess it won't come over the weekend. All right, never mind.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
I think
sometime this week I just gotta go to the post office with your box.
I
I
think
got a little
the
secret surprise in the box for you,
definition
buddy.
of a dead model would be based more on your standard of its build. You wanted a better build, it got a fingerprint on it, or the paint crackled, and you just say forget it and throw it off to the side or whatever. That I could consider a dead model in a way, to where it literally wipes out all motivation to even continue.
Time out. Time out. Hold on. Everybody, hold what you got. I can
Probably
tell you the definition
if you
of a
send it
dead
sometime
model.
this week, I'll probably get it sometime next week, so you should be okay, I guess. And if not, I guess my neighbors know we're crazy ass people, so my neighbors aren't gonna fuck with 8 packages.
What you got there, Dart? What you got?
Okay. Bob, are you here, buddy?
He probably
But no,
paid
you're
water
good.
bill.
You're good, scale model.
Yes, I am. You want big screen?
I would, please. Okay. Forget all the cut and everything. I used it for practice after, right? Okay. I don't know if it can come across on screen, but do you see how the body is etched? That paint looks rough.
Yeah.
Body
Okay.
looks rough.
Yeah, that is the paint the clear I used, which was Rust-Oleum, etched the plastic itself, and you can't fix that. That's a dead model. All I can use it for is either a junker or practice, and I've used it for practice. It's junk. And look how brittle. Watch. Where's that? I'm gonna break it.
But seems they're still using it for a test mule. It's not dead.
See?
It's just slowly dying.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my definition of a dead model. It's whenever it gets to something like that. You can't undo that.
Don't lose that A pillar. You may need that for a different kit.
It's too damn brittle to use. But
No,
there
you're
you
good.
go.
You're good, Mike. I'll get
I
yours
forgot I had
sent
it.
out this week. I just have to go to the post office.
All right, now what was I doing? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, what were you doing,
for
Mario?
what I build and how I build and all that, I rarely come across anything that I would consider a dead model. I mean, I make my own clear windshields for some crazy freaking cars, and if nothing else, it might become a parts kit to kit bash with something else. Like a front end from this, a rear end from that, or even as a test mule for spray painting or practicing cutting doors open or something. To me, it's not dead. It just has a different purpose in life.
Yeah.
If 99% of the rest of the parts are still good, say the interior tub is trash, well, everything's still good. Either I make my own custom interior, or maybe someday I find a parts kit that has the interior and I swap it.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah. Have a good night, sir. Sleep well.
Night, Mike.
As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, check for
Which one
spoilers
wore a hat
first.
this time?
I'll be back. Oh my God, it's an alien.
Arnold Schwarzenegger also said, "You are one ugly mother."
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I watched the edited version. Did he say something after that?
He did say something along those lines, didn't he?
Predator. You are one ugly mother. That was after the swinging log.
Yeah.
Just jump
But
up.
the only thing I have that would be considered dead models are parts kits.
Yeah, but see,
Yeah,
you're
I
still
got
using the
kits
parts.
that
So
I
they're
bought
not
for
dead.
parts.
They're just changing uses.
It's like
Yeah.
3 or 4
For
of those, or that 160.
channel,
I bought them.
Crash and Burn. The video that's on my channel, the Chevelle's Crash and Burn, where I'd opened the doors on a Chevelle body and I got a little bit too aggressive in sanding out around the where I'd cut, and I wound up widening the gap so that on the model the gap is like an 1/8 inch wide. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, can't do nothing with that.
Actually, you can. You can fill it in with styrene and smooth it back out. But
I'll
yeah,
just glue the doors
Not,
open.
not that good.
Just glue the doors open.
Make it look rusted. But no, that's the only thing I would have consider a dead kit or parts kits that I bought specifically for parts, or rebuilders that I got just specifically for parts and have stolen parts from.
here, Bob. Let me
I-
share this one with you guys
That's
here.
basically what I did with that.
I would
Chevelle.
only have really, I guess, one dead kit, and it's the AMT 57 Chevy. It's the turquoise one. That's on the box, that kind of turquoise molded one. I freaking cut the exhaust out of the chassis. The exhaust is molded in. I cut the back axle. It's molded in and out. I cut the radiator out to put a bigger motor in it. I chopped the hood all up. Had it going good. Just laid a layer of pretty good red paint down on it. And my freaking dog come down with me one night modeling, and he reached up, grabbed my body, and bit it in 3 pieces.
Oh wow!
So that would be the only dead
let
kit,
me-
I'd say.
Let me ask the panel or the people if you would consider what you see there in purple as a dead kit or the bones of the beginning of a kit.
I see rims and tires I could use.
Well, see, this was a parts lot, and this was everything that came in the parts lot, right? And this part right here is the only reason that I bought the parts lot, right?
Got good bones. You could something.
This was the chassis. As you can see, it was broken here, broken there. It was twisted to beat hell, broken off up here. And this was all the pieces that there was, right? I cleaned it up. I rebuilt it.
Yeah.
I made my own front footboard. I fixed the chassis,
What's it
made
supposed
my
to
own
be?
interior. These are actually beads. And to this day, I have this little badass right here.
Oh, wow.
Starting with what somebody would call a dead model. So
Wow.
and I cannot say what a dead model is after building something like this, starting with what I started with.
Yeah. I mean,
It's also a skill thing, I would say, because I would have not been able to get from what it was to that. That's just out of my skill range.
it's
So to me, that'd be dead.
it's definitely a question of the individual builder's level of skill and
Yep.
what he or she feels like they're capable of doing.
I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Barris bed buggy kit, but that's what this was. There's the box right there. I made my own roof panels, my own sides, my ball ends, my little candles, foot pedals, every last piece. The headlights, these are actually very specific headlights. I took a piece of balsa and sat there and sanded it to make those headlights to look like that.
Wow.
That's balsa. You can see they're kind of rough and textured because that's balsa. You know?
Yeah.
But considering with what I started with, which was that right there, that little part of a glue bomb, you can see how warped it is right here. You know, it only had the headboard, so I copied this much of it from the original, and then this is actually solder, you know, flexible solder.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the little pieces of tubing that I used, and I made my own footboard on it.
You used a little bit of some red drinking straw there.
This is actually, I have red, green, blue, yellow, and some others, but it's just like a WD-40 straw almost. You know?
Oh, okay.
I have some thick wall, some thin wall. I have a whole bunch of different stuff, stir sticks, all kinds of. Tubing matters to me because you can make shocks that telescope in and outside of each other.
Yeah.
I don't have another picture of the footboard there, but you actually have to look in. This one kind of shows how it looked once I painted it with a nice metallic chrome, and then all my gold is actually transparent gold. So that's why this has a little more yellowish look to it than an actual gold. But it's got the little tassels up in there. Granted, my seams ain't all that smooth or anything, but if you had to sew that together, it's not perfect either. You know. And then for the seats, I just cut the bottoms off of them, stuck them in there, got my little handmade telephone, my little record player thingy.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
And like I said, these were beads.
You have in your collection.
These are beads. These are that red tube that I made my own custom exhaust with solder. You know.
Yeah.
And my little candle lights, those are beads, and then this is a piece of sprue with just a wire sticking out that I painted on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston. I've got that Firestone truck in the box from.
So if you're asking me what a dead kit is, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what a dead kit is.
Yeah. For me, a dead kit is one that either I probably, and more than likely it's going to be because of something I've done to the kit to where I've taken it to a point beyond where I feel like I have the skill to bring it back from. Now, most kits, when I open them up, if they're warped or bent or twisted, unless they're just insanely crushed in for being warped and twisted so bad, I can generally straighten those back out. You turn your kitchen faucet on hot, let it get good and warm, and you run your twisted up styrene under that until it gets kind of a little soft, and you start gently flexing it in the opposite direction to straighten it out. You know, that I can do. If it's little small gaps in like some that have a whole lot of compound curve to it, that I can shim in and fill it up and fix the gap. But for like a compound curve on a door, I don't have the skill to fix that.
I have a good answer to a dead kit. Old original Johan promos. Once they warp, they're dead.
Yeah.
When the hood separates from the grill and it looks like a freaking banana, it's kind of dead.
Yeah. The Johan promos, once they start to warp like that,
there's no bringing them back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't matter how many pie cuts you put in it; it won't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen it? But still, they want a stupid amount of money for them.
Yeah.
Because they have wheels, they have chassis, they have
Oh, okay.
headlights, they have glass. Yeah,
True.
yeah. They want the bucks off of the parts. They know the body's gone, but everything else is decent.
Point. Okay, fair enough. I didn't think that far ahead.
Uh-huh.
But even that, to the person selling it, it's a dead
Oh,
kid.
my
that
bad, no.
Hopefully somebody has some use for it. My trash, your treasure. You know. But that's a good question because, you know, did I push the kit beyond my limits? It's not dead. It's just way back burner, maybe even off the stove. You know.
But that Chevelle kit that I wound up causing a 1/8 inch gap in the between the door panel and the rest of the car. Paint mule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
like I said, it just changes its purpose.
it's just changed its use and purpose.
Yep. Yeah,
Like
you
I
get to
said,
practice
just
all
leave
kinds
the
of
doors
fun
open.
stuff on it.
So you won't really ever notice there's a gap.
I'm back with coffee.
Yeah,
Okay, you
welcome
missed it,
back. Thanks for
Marcy.
the coffee. Now go get your own.
You know what? That's a really good idea, Marcy. I think I need to brew myself a pot.
You
Right.
remember, Marcy, when I said I think I'm effing up?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what I did?
Effed
Yes,
up.
so.
I did.
How bad? Let's see.
I went and repainted it already.
No. Okay. Does it look better this time?
Yes,
Well,
I'm not standing it either.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's not do that twice.
No, because I'm out of paint. I can't fix it again.
Yes, with colors at this point, yeah.
So it's getting cleared with the little trash that's in it and the orange peel because we're done.
You
I
can
will
always turn
practice.
that side away, right?
Right. I will practice on another one. I practiced once on this one and we're done.
Well, worst case scenario, you know how to weather them to make them look like a backyard find.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not this one. I don't
Hey,
want
and you
this
didn't melt any parts like I did. I've done that in fucking years. I can't believe that happened. Ooh, I like. Yeah, that's gonna be sharp.
Very.
Yeah.
And we were having. Ooh,
She's got her tuxedo on.
I saw blazing black metal flake.
Yeah, I like that.
and
Metal
we were
flake
talking.
explains why it has a little bit of a
Black
gray.
metal flake. What brand is that?
Testers Extreme Lacquer.
Really?
Yeah, blazing black. Testers
Called
Extreme
Blazing
Lacquer.
Black.
Okay. I have some of the extreme lacquers. I don't recall seeing that one. I have to ask John about it.
Hey, Serge.
Did you do that over gray primer?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was gray just before he sprayed it.
I'll hate it again with
I know
another
it was.
coat. But
He
yeah.
had, but when I saw it, it was in primer, but he found some imperfections and went back through it, and I wasn't sure if it got resprayed with a different color.
Hey, Serge, the question that's on the screen, you know, how many of those? do
No,
you
I
have in
sprayed it
your
with the
collection?
primer again after I fixed it. And
Okay, so the light gray primer.
I just want to know if Serge, if that question
Yes,
that's on the
Mr.
screen was related to my customs that I rebuilt. Not to take it personal, but I was just curious.
Mr. Surface
That's what he
1000.
was asking.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
use. I use those, or I use Tamiya.
Yeah, I use that primer.
Because the only
I
to me
use-
I've got right now is
Hang on. How many of those do you have in your collection that you took? You are proud of, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? Are you asking how many we have in our collection that we're proud of that we built?
Oh.
Well, see, that's why I was asking if he was asking me about that with my collection, or if it was to the panel, or
Because I'm proud of damn near every one I built, even if it turned out like poo-poo, because I learned something from it.
because if you want to know how many rebuilders I have in my collection that I bought as glue bombs and restored, let me just say I probably have about 50% of my collection never came out of a sealed box.
I've got a fair number of things I've rescued, this truck being one of them.
Looks good, Bob.
And I also have probably 4 or 5 kits in my collection that are 100% scratch built from Parts Box. Body included, scratch built.
I haven't done anything from the parts
Why
box
does it
in
keep kicking me out, bro?
years.
My
And
tool.
As far as dead models, I have several that I've looked at and went, no, you're going back in the box. And they
Damn,
go
Ed,
on
now
the
that's
shelf
annoying.
until I
You
start
go
going
out?
through the boxes, and maybe one day they'll get finished.
What? I'll be back. Princess needs to go outside.
The model that I call tool, I started with a plan, a sheet of styrene, and some strips and angle iron and stuff like that.
Here we
And
go.
a pile of parts with tools in it, you know, like the little wrenches and stuff out of the Clue game. I started with an idea and I built the whole thing from scratch. Obviously, not the motor, not the seats, not the tires, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kit back parts box build, basically. But I
Yeah,
built
I haven't
everything
done a
around.
parts box build in ages.
I'm thinking
Yeah, well,
about
sir,
doing one.
if you go back, say the channel, the TA build that I did was a parts box build. Go back and watch those videos on that. It started. It was basically a rebuilder trashed out kit that I could take completely apart and start over and redid it.
My favorite rebuild kits are ones that I get that are missing a ton of parts, which gives me the freedom to customize a custom.
You can do whatever you
know?
want. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be limited to the parts that are in the box because it didn't have a box and it's missing the parts. So
Right.
it may have came with a front axle, but no other suspension parts. So I put my own axle under it, you know?
I mean, it's extremely rare when I build a kit that I will build it 100% with only the parts that come in the box. I mean,
boring.
I just,
So my
even
thing,
if all I do is
box stock is
spark plug
probably the
wires.
hardest thing to do because there's just so much you can do to them.
Exactly. I mean,
So much
even if all I'm doing
aftermarket
is
and everything.
adding plug wires, you know,
Yeah.
I'm doing something different than what came in the box.
Yep.
Like with this pickup, I've got some big disc rotors that I'm putting on it for 4-wheel disc brakes. I'm bashing the wedge bed from the 72 Racers wedge onto it, which that's going to be stretching the bejeebers out of the chassis and drive shaft.
Which means you have to extend the taillight wires to reach.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know.
And the fact that I'm going to be putting some of these guys in there for the headlights and the taillights on it, you know.
Just
And
make
those
sure that
are-
your taillight wires are green, yellow, brown, and white.
Yeah.
Do they
And-
make little P-clips for attaching wires to the frame?
You know, they probably do.
I'm sure it's like a
has
little
to.
photo etch strip with a hole
Yeah,
on each end that
somebody
you just
has
bend
to.
over.
I just don't recall seeing them, but it would have to be, you know, I haven't looked.
I would
for
be
them.
surprised if they didn't.
I just use
Yeah.
bare metal foil and hope it sticks and stay put, but it usually don't. Yeah, trying to make a little P-clip. Them things are tiny.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, if you go in the wire loom crafting section and get a pair of them pliers with a rounded head that
Mhm.
you can wrap stuff around, or use a toothpick for wrapping the wire to make coils and circles and things.
Mhm.
Or like if I'm gonna handcraft or scratch craft like a throttle return spring,
Yeah.
I wrap it around a paper clip. I get some really, really thin wire and wrap it around the end of a paper clip.
or even a stick pin, either or. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I use a lot of straight pins. Straight pins make great shifters.
they do.
You can cut the beads off the end of them and put them in your stacks for decorations. I mean, you can do all kinds of things with them. The old school 8-ball people used to put on their steering wheel.
Yep.
I've
So
taken
Bob's got
the
a set
head
of-
off of a straight pin and done that with it.
Bob's got a set that I was talking about.
Yeah, the
You-
jeweler's
Yeah.
pliers. I have those.
Yep.
Yeah.
The plier clamps it, and then you got a perfect circle. You got
It's,
three
it's
different
concave in
sizes.
here, and this is
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
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 This one is round. This
Yeah,
one's got
that's for making
concave, so you
jewelry.
can
I have those.
And it's 3 different steps on the round
bend
part.
or unbend.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can get some that are even finer points than that.
Yep.
Sometimes they even come in like a 5 or a 10 pack of different kind of plier sets.
Yeah.
If you buy them from Micromark,
Around here
you
somewhere.
know they're made for scale detail. And usually made for train size scale detail.
Yeah. If you've got
That's
something
what those
made,
are. They're so
you got something tiny.
What's that, Bob?
Micromark sells those for adjusting the cut levers on the
On train
model
sets,
railroad.
Do you need
Hooks
help?
on the
Okay.
that's what they sell.
He's got his Snap-on paint box out.
Shaky, shaky.
Are any of you guys familiar with George Weber? He's a cartoon artist. He can be found in Cartoons magazine.
Sounds familiar.
He's one of them all-time greats, if you ask me. He's been around for a long time doing cartoon magazines. And one day he got on the cover of Cartoons magazine, which wasn't very uncommon for him, because him and George Trellisley and a few others always got the cover for their art. He put up a picture of a hot rod show rod of the Addams Family with
Mhm.
Morticia. And I saw it and I was like, dude, I gotta build that, right? So within like a half hour, I had it sketched out. I had my cardboard cigarette pack cut into shapes, and then I transferred it over to plastic. And by that night, I had it all mocked up and ready to go. Built the entire body and everything from scratch.
You said it was the Munsters Mobile or a Hot Rod
Adam-
inspired?
Adam Family, not the Munsters, the Addams Family.
Oh, Adams.
If you guys would like to see it, I'd like to share it if you want.
Yeah, I didn't know the Adams family
I've
had a
gotta
hot
get
rod.
back to the chair, I think.
No, yeah, he's got to get back in his seat or whatever. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff when inspiration hits and the motivation is so overwhelming, I can't do anything but activate on it.
Yeah.
I got a few builds that were overly inspired right off the bat, and it's like, oh damn, I got to do that. Somebody will put out a challenge. Can you build this? And I'll be like, game on. Let's find out.
Right.
But this one,
Yeah.
coming from just a picture and then turning it into a model. I mean, you can
I
see
didn't know
that
the
right
Adams
there.
had a hot rod.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool looking design, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got the triple trailer house window. That's what I call it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
It's almost like the uncertainty, the style.
Those triple
see-
windows are definitely for her tall ass.
Within a half hour, I had it kind of sketched out just so I had the placements in my head, right? Just to kind of reaffirm ideas and make sure I had some points going. And then shortly after, I had it on paper, and then I put it on the plastic. And as you can see, I used my
Wham, bam.
cigarette tag my cigarette package became my templates, and then, like I said, with it that night, this was already mocked up. And I even got the little dude, made my own little fenders, dragging it over the edge of the desk to get the back tire, front tire, and then the step, so I got the 3 curves all in one piece. Making this stripe right here, getting that nice curve, and then the 2 pieces so that they had this little bubble on the side, getting the dimensions, reasonably right, and then of course got to have it in paint, and then after that it was just a matter of details. Some of these pictures really suck, but as you can see, I got my fenders, I got that little body panel, the roof, found some cherry pie seats, and then it was all the little fun stuff, like the little front top up here. This is layered blue painter's tape. And I layered it so that it had the seams on it. And then this is just vinyl, basically, peel and stick. And I just cut it short and then glued it up underneath, so that I can leave the vinyl sticker on the back of it so it doesn't stick to everything.
Yeah.
My 3 little pipes here, I just cut a little wedge in them that would hold the glass open so that they stayed put. Hand painted the own decal on the side and trimmed out the windows, made my inner curtains and everything. The little hangman's noose up on the radiator cap. And then this part for the air cleaner, I just built a box, spray painted it black, and then took the backside of my knife and scratched into it to make all the white lines. It was a lot easier than trying to hand paint that.
Right.
Yeah.
Much finer, sharper edge to it. And then, of course, I took little hot McDonald's Happy Meal Barbie, painted her all black. But that turned out pretty badass, right? 100% custom made from scratch.
Wow.
What are those back tires off of? They look.
They're off of the Flame Out. Same thing as like the Royal Rail or the Gypsy Wagon and a few other kits that had these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might have even been the Depth Charger, the Scuba tank thing.
Firebird and stuff like that. Yeah, they all.
Yeah, and then up
They're
here,
like-
I use toothpicks on the very top. They're all different lengths and stuff, but I needed some kind of a spike up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see this hand painted job down here. I don't have a really good close up of it. Yeah, there you go. That's about the best close up of it you can get.
You can zoom in and stuff to it too, like I am with my phone.
Yeah, I can't
That looks
zoom in on
good.
my photos like this, but hand painted the purple. This trim is actually a piece of styrene that I trimmed all the way around that just to give it that, edge. But making this on both sides and across the back, and bending everything and lining it up and sanding it and smoothing it out. Check this out. 3/17, March 17th, right? Look at the day I started, March 14th.
Wow.
3 days to go from idea to finished product. 3 days.
That's wild.
You have to
I'd
have.
love to
That's
have
great,
that.
man.
I would love to have 3 consecutive days to actually work on a project.
Hold on. Do
Oh,
not take
sure.
this offensive whatsoever because I have it, but you have to have ADHD because that is hyper focused right there.
No, ADHD to me would be more like squirrel brain.
Not
When I get
necessarily.
set on a project, I build one thing on my desk at a time. I don't do multiple projects usually.
It
Like-
can be that too. You
That
can
might be my and
hyper-focus on
Marcy's
things.
issue.
Like this truck right here, September 21st, and I was done on October 4th.
Wow.
So not even 2 weeks to
I
finish
love how it's a
this.
toolbox.
Yeah, I
All
love that
built
kind of
from
time.
scratch. 100%.
It looks like a toolbox. I love it.
Yep, this is 100% built from scratch. Even the roof. Well, other than, like I said, the parts, kit back wise. But as you can see, I started with 2 pieces of frame rail. and a yard sale sign. Made my own templates, my own parts and pieces, glued it all together.
Well, that's what happens to me whenever I get hyper focused on something. I just do it until I'm done.
Remember when I
Again,
said
I'd
used
like to have 3 consecutive days to do something because I'd be cranking models out like a fucking factory line.
Yeah.
If you look at the front suspension on here, these are the pipe wrench from the game Clue.
Mm-hmm.
I built a little square in there that would actually glue to this, and then I put my rod in there. That actually became my front suspension. See these little monkey wrenches? And then I got like a torque wrench, screwdriver, drywall saw, ball peen hammer, the crescent wrench and stuff. This is what I meant by I just threw a bunch of parts down, thought, okay, which exhaust will I use? Well, we don't know until we get done, right? So let's work from there. Yeah, building the body, everything. Here's the cab part of it. Multiple pieces, tape it together, glue it, fill it, sand it, smooth it all out. You can see how I had the body and then all the filler panel pieces afterwards for the handles and things.
That is badass, man.
You can see it with the hood open and with the hood closed. The glass just slides right down behind the dash.
Oh, nice.
And then the back is actually 2 pieces of wood because these are supposed to be garage creepers. You know, everything is based on tools that you would find in a garage, right? Like the headlights are flashlights. The radiator cap is a 5-piece screwdriver set. The throttle linkage is the drywall saw.
I like where you put the toolbox. That's great.
They made a perfect air cleaner.
Yeah.
These right here are little files that hold the side mirrors on. The rear bumpers are rubber mallets.
Oh, that's badass.
That is cool.
Right? And then, of
Dude,
course, you got the little, you got to
get.
have a cupboard in the shop, right? So it took these little cupboards to make my possum bellies. You know, you can see the big wrench on the glove box. Where's my dashboard? You can see this is a 12-pack of beer. That's my gauge cluster. My torque wrench is actually my turn signal for left and right. The screwdriver is my steering shaft.
Hammer's
the hammer, shift lever. And the thing that holds up the step sides is actually a 4-way wrench.
Oh, nice.
Dude, that is too freaking cool.
So this is what I mean by with a show rod.
Crazy shit like that I love.
You get a theme and you put as many of those theme ideas as you can into it. And then you sort out what fits, what doesn't, what looks good where, what has a purpose to this or to that. This one was all about if it's in the garage, let's put it on a build, right? And what's really funny is, let me jump back to this. When I first built it, where is he? Tools. Come on, open. This was my very first one. All the little mini tools.
Mm-hmm.
And the chassis, this part right here, was actually from a sawhorse. I don't know what kit it was or whatever, but it had a sawhorse in it. These became the frame rails to make these Hot Wheels. These are Hot Wheels. Yeah, they're 3 inches long by 1 inch wide.
Oh my god.
This is where, you know, them little Corvette garage dioramas that they sold at one time, like 143 scale. That's where I got all these small little parts. My radiator hose is like one of them curly Q air hoses. Got wrenches to support the weld, you know, on the headers. The 4-way with the big wrenches to step side. And the reason it has blue seats in it is the blue shop towels that you find in a garage.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I mean.
Yeah, these were some fun builds.
I love crazy shit like this. This is like amazing me.
Yeah, these started with the toolbox. I just cut the sides off so they made an open door C cab, and then everything fit from there. And then I'm like, like the one on the top doesn't have the bottom drawer open. And I'm like, man, you'd have to sit way up with your feet kind of up against your butt. So I figured, well, if I open the drawer and raise the platform, it'll give you a place to put the pedal and your toes,
Yeah.
Stretch your legs out a little bit. And it just added to the whole face of it, like a firewall kind of thing. But this is what I do for a living, man. I come up with crazy cool shit like this. But these are Hot Wheels. Tiny little shit, man. There's the model toolbox right there.
I've only ever messed with one Hot Wheels. That took a 85.
I've done a lot of custom Hot Wheels. Lots of. I opened doors and shit. Where's Satan's Prayer? I started with these two cars because I was going to cut the fenders and the hood off of one so I can cut the doors and the hood out of the other one. Basically, this became scrap fenders, quarter panel. These were all scrap parts so that I could save these parts. And then this was my body. And then I started building parts and pieces and tubs. And this fucking thing right here, this rear tub, took me about 2 hours to make all of that. Just to make the tub. And then the little motor that could. It's actually a little Hemi. Hard to see because it's so small and blurry, but there it is right there.
Nice.
Holy shit.
And I even wired it.
Oh, wow. That had to be a exercise in frustration.
Reasonably. There's the wheel tub.
Because
there's the
wiring
interior.
a 25th scale is difficult enough. Trying to wire something as small as a Hot Wheels?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Here's the finished product. It's actually black on top with a charcoal gray on the bottom and a red divider stripe.
Nice.
The hood doesn't quite close down, but right here you can see that's my thumb. That's how big that is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's no way I'd be able to do anything like that.
It's so tiny. Check this out. This thing right here was actually a switch button. And I was looking at it, I'm like, dude, this looks like the cowl of a truck with a windshield, right? So I cut this much of it off and I built that.
Yeah.
And it's only
cool.
That's a quarter.
Oh my God.
That's a 25-cent piece right there. That's a little quarter. My tiny little truck. It started life as a switch.
Wow.
Yeah, I Micro Machine.
I do some crazy shit. Come on, no. Okay, there we go.
The only Hot Wheels or whatever I've messed with is a 85 Firebird. I put on a Hot Wheels 4-wheel drive frame.
Speaking of Hot Wheels, you're familiar with treasure hunts? I was looking for a little chest like this for so freaking long until I found this McDonald's Hot Wheel or Happy Meal thing, so I can cut the chest off. I painted it all parchment and added the map to it just to build this badass little treasure hunter.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
It's got the jewel gems for headlights and taillights, and I still want to find a chest like this that would be big enough for a 124 scale cab. You know what I mean?
Well, as much scratch building as you do, scratch build one.
Yeah, I would just like to use something to start with. I don't know that I'll ever find an actual right-sized one, but you never know.
You might be able to find a 3D printed one or something.
It's
Here's
also
another
the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah. Here's a balsa wood built from scratch bed buggy. 100% built from scratch. 100% built from scratch.
It's a bunk bed.
Shaggy and Scooby-Doo driving too.
What's really funny is if you measure it, it won't go under any bridge.
That's okay.
You'd have to cut these off in order to go under a bridge.
That's okay.
Yeah. Scooby likes it. Shaggy too.
Shaggy and Scooby love it.
Yep.
I mean, it's like the two race train
Scooby's up there getting snow.
building out of bashing together the Coca-Cola
Wow.
semi trailer plus one of those big rig semi kit trailers, and then doing the Fruhoff box trailer the same way. They're going to be triple axle trailers that, if you convert their scale length into 1-to-1 length, these trailers are going to be like 65 feet long.
Yeah, they should only be 52 to 48, roughly.
53.
Yeah.
53
This one
maximum
here,
length for a trailer like that.
this one here is my buddy build with Terry. This is what I built the Boot Heel Express into when he and I got into the buddy build.
Wow.
The front cab is from the Munsters machine, and the rear is the Boot Heel Express.
That is nice.
That's pretty cool. I have that Monsters machine in Grandpa's coach. Oh, I haven't built them.
Yep, this is what I built for good old Terry.
That's cool, man.
As
He would
you
have
can
loved it.
see where I cut it and modified it, but
Yeah.
made my own roof panel for it because it just wasn't going to work that way. But yeah, turned out pretty badass. Got the diamond plate firewall in there. Got the red saddle leather like you would have on a horse, yeah, which kind of tied back to more of this era than this era. Yeah. And then, of course, we got Rick Zink sending me a skeleton.
Hey,
Need to build Skelly a truck.
Oh, Skelly's got his thing. Here's another one built from the garage sale sign. As you can see, I got my template all made out. I don't know if you're familiar with One Arm Bandit MPC kit. It's extremely rare and expensive. So I saw a beautiful side shot from Kim's Customs over there across the pond. So I screenshot it and I had the right chassis for it. So I just blew the picture up until my wheels lined up with his. And then I just traced it out on my computer screen and come up with the template, cut it all out, made my own.
yeah.
And this one turned out pretty badass. I went the Grim Reaper route. And when I cut the coffin windows out, I used them as the little side steps on it. And those 3M sanding pads that are gray and foamy like, that's what I used for my grill, my radiator. Let me see, where's One Arm Bandit here? Yeah, this is the original kit, the actual kit, One Arm Bandit. And then I made my own stuff, my own parts pieces. This is what I templated everything off of. Got little angle channel iron stuff so that I can glue the two sides together without having the seam so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I used a Cadillac rim for the roulette wheel. Made my own custom dash, everything. I used the 70 Dodge Challenger, you know, the street machine with the big tunnel ram.
Yeah.
And I just painted it white with the little dots for the dice. This chassis is actually from the MPC ice cream truck, which I found out is the exact same kit chassis as the actual kit.
Huh.
And then I just hand painted all of this. As you can see, it's sloppy, but it's there. It's done. And the only part that I didn't actually do on it is the big wheel on the back.
Yeah.
but everything else is there. It's the one-armed bandit right there, built from scratch.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I love to do, man. So I can't see what a dead kit would be. I just don't. You know.
And as far as for where those sawhorses came from, this one is number 3 in the series, but it's the A&T Garage Accessory series.
Do they got sawhorses in there?
Want to say kit number 2 of the series.
One of the series. Yeah.
Sawhorses.
Yeah, I don't know where I got mine, but they came out before that, so they would have had the original.
No, the ones in that series are more square, like
the wooden structured ones. Yeah.
Because I have those 3 kits.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for
mean,
letting me
this-
share that, guys.
This one's a round 2 repop of the kit, but this kit's been around for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good lift in that kit. I built it.
So, Doctor, am I actually ADD? Because when I focus on something, I don't do anything else till it's done.
Yes.
I just want an actual diagnosis so I can actually be diagnosed. Because right now I'm undiagnosed.
Hyper focusing on something until its end. That would definitely qualify you for one of the ADD.
Yeah, when like 4 hours goes by and I still haven't gotten up to drain the coffee. Yeah, I guess that's hyper focused.
It's like, okay, I when you're doing it, like I call them ticks. I don't think that's what they call them. But when you're doing them, you yourself don't notice. But like me, if I watch some of the live streams back, I notice something. I'm like, holy shit, you look like an idiot. And I'm talking about myself. But I notice my stuff like.
Yeah, if you see my tongue stuck out, you know I'm focused on something.
Like
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen that 1,000 times. Hyper focus goes into total tongue mode.
Until the drool drops, I don't stop.
But
where'd that
that's
come
like
from?
me.
Oh, that's me.
I don't have ADHD, but I do have ADD. I've never had the hyperactivity part of it, but I do have an extremely short attention span. And when I say I have an extremely short attention span, I'm talking my attention span makes a fruit fly's reproductive organ look large.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to very, very.
I can go into squad mode really easily.
Focus on things.
I've been told I have a lot of things. So I just
I've been told there's a list wrong with me.
And there's nothing they can do about it. So I'm like, okay, so basically I'm just gonna live.
They'll give you a bunch of pills that basically turn you off. And you'll feel like shit by taking one dose, and then you won't want to take them, and then you're right back where you were.
Pretty much.
I've been
down
That's what
that
they
road.
did to my son. That's exactly what happened to my boy.
I've been down that road.
Goes with a loving spirit, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not nice. I just play one on TV.
I could go and get medicated for my ADD, but like Marcy just said, I'd be a zombie.
Yeah, you're completely on or you're completely off. It literally turned my kid off. It was like flipping a light switch. He didn't want to draw. He didn't want to read. He didn't want to play his guitar. He didn't want to skateboard, okay?
Yeah.
And he said that he literally felt like everything went black.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And I said, if you don't want to take them, you don't have to take them.
I've been on
Yeah.
meds
We
like that
flushed
to
them
the
at
point
that
where I
point.
said, look, if you're not going to fix
You know what
me,
helps?
you can take your pills and shove it. I don't want it. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
not
well,
pills
you know what
fix
actually
everything,
helped?
don't you know?
For those of us with ADD and even more so ADHD, believe it or not, caffeine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it slows you down.
Because granted, it's going to put the person with the ADD and the ADHD way, way up here.
Well,
But
it's kind of like the
gonna be
Ritalin effect.
focused.
Some it makes them
Way,
hyper,
way
some
up
it makes
here.
them mellow.
Well, I was even told I have
chronic model building disease.
That and
That's a
think we all have
bad one
that
to have, man. I feel bad for you.
I
There
have
ain't enough paint
autism.
in the
Is what they
world.
said.
That's
said I-
entirely possible. Yeah.
I don't know. Now I've got a couple friends, and I'm like, I don't see it, and they're like, we see it, and I'm like, okay.
It could be,
Well, there's
but again, a
functional
lot
and
of
mildly
what goes on with you, though, I think, is your, I don't know if it's an inability or if it's a fear or, you know, however you want to describe it. You say it's like anxiety, that there's certain situations that you just can't handle and you shut off.
Mm-hmm.
That could be
Phil,
borderline autism, but
you
Yeah.
not
missed
likely.
it. Phil, you missed it. Go back 15 minutes.
It's like when
10 minutes.
people are arguing, I just go, and I'm over here. Y'all's arguing over here. I'm over here looking at the little
Yeah.
sticker I put on the wall.
You're turning it off.
I do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it when people argue, and I hate being around it, and I hate being in a
Mhm.
situation where I can't get away from it when people start arguing.
Yeah.
I hate it when they try to get me involved.
Oh,
Cool,
that's
Phil.
even
Then you
worse.
didn't miss
Yeah.
it. I just
I
missed
don't-
you, not missed you. See it.
Like whenever I'm talking to you, if I'm annoying you, I don't notice it until it's already too late. If somebody doesn't tell me I'm annoying
Yeah,
them,
and see that's a thing that comes from having experience out in the world. It's a social skill. It's something you learn.
Yeah.
So
Well, I never
if
learned
it
it.
doesn't happen for you, it's because you're not out there being you around everyone else.
yeah, I don't like everybody.
You don't people very well. I don't
No.
people very
I
well.
know people very well. You know,
I'm
like
Mm-mm.
during a live stream when there's
When I'm
way
at
You don't
work.
know
too
what
many
it takes.
voices at once. You know,
Okay,
my
I
brain
love
has
my
enough
other-
of its own.
I love my other
Mhm.
community to death. I have hung out with a good portion of these people for probably close to 40 years of my life.
Mhm.
This coming year, 2025, our public event is 30 years old. If I'm in a room with 20 people that I know, I'm still gonna sit in the back in the corner closest to the door.
Right.
Okay. But I know these people, I know how their minds work, and it doesn't bother me to be isolated in a small room with them, but I still have my out.
Yes.
Plan
kinda
A.
like-
Find
it's
a
kinda
Like I
like-
said, I'm very interactive with people. I'll get everybody laughing.
I am an extroverted
But when people are
introvert.
fighting, then I go
people
shut down.
when I have to.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
it's like
When they're arguing, I go shut
when I'm at work, I put on that mask, and I'm
Yeah,
very
I
extra,
people when I have to.
and I'm chatty with my customers and all that. But as soon as service is over, yeah, no, don't come up to my counter. I ain't about to say a word to you. I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're done here. Yeah.
I'm
That's like I said,
gonna
when
wait
I'm at
till
work
down
on
and-
third shift, when I go in at 10:30, the store closes at 12. So I have little, if any, interaction with actual customers now. And at 12, when they chase everybody out and we all just go into full on work mode, I'm lucky if I see the person in the next department from a distance.
Yeah. Lucky
We
you.
don't interact until break time. And if you're not outside smoking or sitting up in a break room with me, it ain't happening.
I used to go to church, and right before COVID, and I would always, like you say, sit in the back in the corner where I could exit in a hurry. And I love these people, God bless them, but everybody wanted to hug me,
And they have to understand your boundaries.
and they did.
You are
They
not
did. Well,
comfortable with that. They have to
Right.
respect that. That's something
right.
they
And
have
I
to
told
learn.
them, and as soon as
Don't
I
touch
told
me.
them,
Yeah.
you know, they's like, okay, you go over there.
Well, it's like
And
in my group environment with my other family, and we have a lot of people who they're very social, they're very outgoing, and they're huggy people.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to the point of where there's some people I will let that'll happen. Absolutely, without question. But we all ask because you're never sure. Somebody's boundaries could be different today.
Mhm.
They might not want that kind of attention, so you ask.
Yeah.
Or you make the gesture, the hands out gesture, and they give you the palms, and you're like, okay, cool, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
As
See,
long
I
as you
did.
respect that set of boundaries, that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Well,
handshake, fist bump. Yeah.
well, once I
Fist
said,
bump, yeah, elbows, whatever.
well, once I was like, hey, pat on the back, cool. Let's not bring it in, okay? And they did exactly what I asked, and it was great. And then COVID hit, and I became
And
this
then, yeah,
antisocial
and that's
thing
another
I
thing,
become.
that did a lot of things to people. The
Yes.
isolation did a lot, and that is something that you can fix, but that's something that only you can fix at your own pace.
Yeah, I don't. But that's the thing. I
Now
don't
that
miss
without
it.
you don't want it. You miss it.
Well,
There's
no, you
parts
don't
of it you
necessarily
miss,
have
but
to interact with anybody, but you do need to go outside.
Oh, I do. Me and the
You
dog
need
go
to.
outside all the time.
why didn't you
It's
tell
got
me that like 2
longer
years ago?
longer walks. You don't
Yeah.
have to associate with anybody other than waving at the neighbor on your way by.
No. We bark at the neighbor together. That
You
way,
can
the
bark at
neighbor
the neighbor.
thinks.
What that's waving. That's the dog saying hi.
Well, hang on. We bark together. That way, the neighbor thinks she's vicious, which she's
And you're
not.
nuts.
And I'm exactly. And the neighbor will never come over.
There
And
won't
we're
be
good to
mooching
go.
any cups of sugar from you, and you're good. Yeah, exactly.
Now, if I see somebody breaking into their home, I may do something about that.
Do
But
I look
other
like a
than
guy
that,
who has sugar? Come on now. Come on. Do I look like a guy who has sugar?
and that's the truth. There ain't no sugar in this house. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah, if
we
my
got.
neighbor's ass ain't on fire, I don't give a fuck. At
Well,
that point, I might just lean out the window and watch.
I got a neighbor I wouldn't walk across the street to piss on if they were on fire.
That's what I'm saying. I just lean out the door and watch.
See, that's a product of modern society compared to the 50s.
It is.
No.
Compared to the
This
70s,
dude,
the 80s, the 90s, yeah, it is. I
this
don't care
dude
to know
has
any of my neighbors.
this dude has cut his mufflers clean off at the cab. Okay. And comes by my house every day, several times a day, wide ass open. No, he can go fuck off. He is being rude.
I would put something in his gas tank.
That goes back to the my nerves won't let me go even deal with that.
No, I would put mothballs in his gas tank. I would stop this process. It would not happen again.
Yeah. Well,
He'll eventually kill himself. He drives like an idiot everywhere, or he'll get caught. The problem will self-solve eventually.
Yeah, but in the interim, you have to listen to it when you can correct it.
I don't handle
with a little bit of
confrontation.
mothballs.
No, not with how many people have cameras on, and I've got and yeah, no, I'm on my. I can't
know
do
people
stuff
that
like
would
that.
do it for a pizza. So
I can't do stuff like that.
I know people who would do it for a pizza. Just saying.
mhm. Shoot, I think Sarge would do it for less.
Yeah.
No, what's going to happen is because he breaks it all the time. He's working on it every other day, of course. So you remember, I own Thunderbutt, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes no interaction whatsoever while he's under that thing in the middle of the road up here to go by real slowly in Thunderbutt, pop him off in neutral, and rack them glass packs off as he's under that truck, and it reverberates in his brain. Okay, I'm going to do that. Is what I'm going to do every time I get right beside his truck and he's working on it.
That works.
And then eventually he might want to come talk to me. That is the most passive aggressive thing I've ever done. I know. When I should just go talk to him, but I can't. I'm probably going to do none of that. To be honest.
You mean like we had a deadline and we kept on building after the deadline? See, I'm a firm believer in I don't plan my day or my build. I try to leave as much room for unexpected to have a place to shine. You know, like with God's will, right? I can plan my day so full that God has no room left in it to squeak in and say, no, I need you to talk to this person, right? Whereas when it comes to a model build like that, I'll build it until it says it's done. You know, when I have no more motivation to put the next piece on or to grab the decal license plate to stick on it or whatever, if I don't do it and I put it on the shelf, it's done. You know,
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. ADHD kicked in there.
I was just answering Serge's question in the chat.
Right, but my
Or like me, a problem I have is I'll get in the groove and be working on something and just keep working on it and working on it and working on it. And the next thing I know, it's the next day and it's time for me to get dressed and ready for work. And I'm like, oh shit, I ain't slept a wink. I'm going to be worthless at the job today. So
I think to answer Serge's question, when I was building the Wraith, the moment I decided to cut the door open, I knew I was in for a lot of work, right? And I was okay with that because it wasn't going to be too hard to make the door work. But the moment I cut that rear hatch open and I had to build that whole engine bay, the hinges, the everything back there, that was taking a big chunk further than I was expecting to go.
yeah.
But I slowly built it one piece at a time till I got through it. I cut a few corners or a bunch, but it turned out. I mean, you've seen the pictures. It turned out, you know.
I'll tell you the
It's a
truth.
one of one. There isn't a second one of them out there, even though I've built.
You know where I cut the most corners? The interior.
Yeah, the hard to see stuff.
If you can't see it, there might be a corner cut there. Just saying.
My problem with that is I know it's there, so I have to do it.
Yeah. I have enough. I'm OCD enough that if I know that the detail is there, I have to make it right.
Let me
It's
explain.
just like building something military and doing a tank. You do all that stuff on the inside, or an airplane. You know, you do all the inside work in the cockpit, and you close it up, never to be seen again. But
yeah, unless you got a borescope, you ain't seeing shit.
Exactly.
Let me explain. This is good enough.
Looks pretty damn good to me.
Yeah.
I see buttons, knobs, and gauge bezels, so that's pretty damn good to me.
Okay. La poo-poo.
I grew up with Fisher Price toys. They didn't have any detail, and I was ecstatic. And then I got Hot Wheels. I was even more ecstatic. And then I got high building a model, and them things were the shit. But they look like shit.
When I hear someone say they're cutting corners on interior, they're just black bombing it or whatever, just painting it all one color, gluing all the parts in place, and calling that done. That's what I consider to be cutting corners on an interior. And yeah,
I've never done that.
I've had a hard time getting myself to build a black interior. Just because to me it does feel like a cop-out. You know, I want to do a light enough color that when you look in there, you can see the differences between the
exactly. Yes.
You know, to me, a satin black interior, I probably won't even fix the seams on the two-piece seats. You know what I mean?
Like on the 2017 Camaro 50 edition that I'm building. That's my interior for it. Light enough colors and high contrasting enough colors that when you look through the window opening in the doors or whatever, you can see the difference in various details on the interior.
Yeah. Without having to strain your eyes too hard to know that it's not just a single color.
Exactly.
That's another good question. You know, where do we skimp out? Or, you know, in a way, his question is kind of like, well, I want to do a two-tone, and I'm busy working on the red before I get to the black, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, I should make door handles.
Austin.
Oh shit, I
No.
should make seat belts. Oh shit, I should finish the red. You know?
Right.
Or maybe I should put the exhaust under the chassis before I put the rear axle on it.
And
I don't know how many times I've done that over the years.
Boston, all that detail in that Camaro interior, that's all hand paint.
And
That's all
and
hand painted.
and if anybody that's new still watching, don't open and close shit with your mouth. You know how many times I've glued my lip shut?
And
Not
when I
enough.
say
I
hand
still
painted,
hear you. No, I'm kidding.
this is the brush I use for a lot of it. It's a 20-aught.
Yeah, that's tiny. And it's short too.
Yes. And all I do is granted I'm constantly dipping into my paint because like
It is short.
like we were talking about earlier, I don't ever dip in to where the ferrule itself is getting down into the paint. I just
Yeah, no more than half the brush. That's
90% of the time I paint out of the cap rather than the bottle.
which is really a bad idea too.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
mean,
then it gets all up in the threads of the cap, and when you go to
Yeah,
put it
you
back
should
on
always
your
dispense
bottle,
your paint into some sort of container.
there is that, but I'm lazy, so I just do what I do.
a lot of times what I'll do is
Night,
Will.
Horton.
night, Phil. Hey, I didn't even know you was in here, brother.
I don't
My
know.
bad.
Later, Taylor.
But a lot of times what I'll do, even if I'm just brush painting, I use one of these, and I'll take a pipette or maybe one of my stir sticks and put a little bit of the paint that I'm using into one of these, and then I'll sit there and I'll put this on something so that it's angled.
I have little palette trays, so
Oh, the little half bubble kind of thing.
to keep
yeah.
paint concentrated in just the one little area of it. And that's what I'll do.
You know that
Because-
gem I lost the other night? It fell into my palette, and I actually overlooked it. Found it.
Even like with these tester square jars.
Yeah, see, those I
when
just
you
paint
use
right out of the
a little bit of it, especially with the
Yeah,
dark
I
colors.
use these little guys. You can get them over at the dollar store. You get like 6 of them in a package. Or these little white bowls. I've gotten those too, yeah.
See, I would use those if I'm doing like the acrylic craft paints or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But when
I
it
use
comes
them
to
for
testers,
everything.
when it comes to the testers enamel little bottles, I won't pour that out or use it in anything else because then I'm painting that thing, whatever it is. And I'm not gonna waste my time cleaning it up afterwards. That's why I paint
Well, you
right
see
out
how
of the lid.
clean mine are.
Yeah.
I
Well,
periodically will
but I
scald
mean-
them and scrape the paint out of them when they get really crusty.
Right,
Nice
which
thing
is
about
why I
Oil
would
and keep
use.
going.
These
You
are
know,
just
if I was using craft paint, then I would use something like that because
Well, see-
yeah, I can wipe it out, wash it off, or throw it away. You know. Yeah, marble holders. You know. Them make great baby
This right
moon
here is
caps.
like
You
a-
know.
you get these like as a 10-pack or something over in the acrylic paint, not the craft paint, but the acrylic paint section of like Hobby Lobby. I want to say that's where I picked these up. And they come like 10 to a pack. They're disposable. They're not meant to be cleaned out and reused.
I'd still clean them out and reuse them.
Well, depending on what kind of paint I'm using. If I'm using an acrylic type paint with them, I'd probably clean it and reuse it. But when I use those for my testers enamels or something, nah, I just toss it.
Yeah, when I use the little testers bottles or any of the like the Mr. Hobby bottles, I just shake the hell out of them and dip right into the jar.
Yeah,
I-
but
I-
and
I
my
bought a
trouble with doing
bottle
that
of
is especially like-
BBs. I bought a bottle of BBs and put 1 or 2 BBs in every one of my little testers jars.
yeah,
All my
And-
paint gets shakers.
and
Even my
my only
acrylic.
problem with dipping into the testers jars, especially the darker colors, once it starts getting half empty or less, it's very difficult to see into it just to be able to dip just the tip of the bristles.
Yeah, and that's when I go after a pipette and put it in the tray.
For me, if all I'm doing is detail painting with the testers, there's not enough of it for me to pour out into anything, because then it'll get hard and skinny by the time I'm done. I'll have to pour more. And to me, that all that dried paint became wasted paint. Whereas if I just paint out of the lid until it's about half dry, put the cap back on, shake it back up, paint
Stop
again,
doing that.
Repeat the process.
End up cutting
But if
myself
I'm
on
painting a bigger section, like a flat black roof, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to use spray paint, Or if I'm painting seats or a two-tone of a seat, I'll use my slightly bigger pointed brush, Everything on that one is situational to me, basically. But
Bottle caps work. Water bottle and or 20-ounce soda bottles. I've got plenty of those.
nice part about like acrylic craft paint, if you paint out of the cap, just cover the bottle and leave the cap until it completely dries. Take a toothpick in there and scrape it. The whole thing comes out as nice and clean. Put the cap back on, shove it in the drawer, and wait till next time.
Marcy's gonna love this bill. Well, fuck you and stay down there. Huh?
What?
Oh, I'm putting pinstripes on it instead of these big ugly stripes.
Yeah, sometimes pinstripes are better.
Well, I'm putting together the demon kit and the freaking the decals. I do not like them at all. They're bad in my opinion.
I didn't even really look at them.
They're
more concerned about the warpage and other miscellaneous issues with it.
I haven't had much of that. But the decals, the clear stuff around the decal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the carrier.
It's really fat.
Yeah, some of the carrier does get really thick on some of the decals, and it's like they tried to be reminiscent of the old decals because they used to be much heavier years ago.
Yeah, and they're thick and hard, and they don't lay down even with
it takes a lot of stuff. Yeah,
and I'm over it.
With decals,
yeah, I probably won't use mine then if they're that bad.
When I go to cut my decals out, I
Could be me.
Try to cut them as close to the color as I can possibly get rid of as much of that clear carrier off the edge as I can.
Yeah. But if they're still thick beyond that, you're still going to have some problems.
It can be, yes.
Ooh, that could have been bad.
Could have been messy.
Don't watch me get shot.
That's a pretty good question there, Serge. I've never, the closest I've come to clear coating bare metal foil anywhere is Quick Shine on the exterior.
But I don't use bare metal foil. I used it once, didn't like it, moved on.
Well, his question is in reference to the interior of the Mustang he was working on. He got it all bare metal foil.
Like the chrome trim on the interior, utilizing bare metal foil for that. And he's wanting to know if he should clear coat it or not. And like I say, the closest thing I've ever done to clear coating bare metal foil is Quick Shine on the exterior.
I would.
But then I've also never done bare metal foil on interior anyway. I've always used for chrome and chrome-like trim interior, it's either Silver Sharpie or Molotov.
You got the 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 3 millimeter tips?
Yep.
No, I do not. I have the 2 mil.
Yeah, I got the 2 mil
I
myself.
went and bought them all.
And a lot of times what I'll do with that, instead of using the pen directly on whatever it is I'm trying to do in chrome, I'll take a bottle cap or something and siphon some of that or decant some of that Molotov into the bottle cap, and then I'll use the tip of a toothpick
Mhm.
dip that into the decanted Molotov and touch
And
whatever
the
it is.
Molotov also works really well through an airbrush.
It does.
No.
I've seen it work. I've seen that. I haven't done that myself yet, so I can't speak from personal experience, but I've watched other people do it and it looked amazing. So,
And I invested in the AK Super Chrome too. I've yet to put that through an airbrush, but I like how it brushes on just fine. So
Don't y'all laugh at me. I'm using a sock. Are you serious? Really?
Hey, if it works, do it.
It
Get
sprays
her
real
done,
good.
man.
Nice too.
Get her done
Hmm.
before that decal dries to the paper.
another
It just split into 9 different pieces. I ain't even trying.
Yep, that's dead. That
Another-
wouldn't be a dead model, but it would be a dead decal.
that was an open murder with witnesses.
And another thing that I don't have any personal experience with, but I've seen be done to excellent results, Green Stuff World Chrome.
Yeah, Green Stuff World Chrome is nice. I've used that on my minis before. I have a bottle of it around here somewhere.
Was that the first side of the decal dart or the second? Because it really sucks when one
Second.
is on and the second one was no good.
I put that was my goal. My Go for Racing decal. Okay, that I just destroyed or just destroyed itself. Okay, the first time I tried to put decals on, I was putting the stock decals to the Demon on the Demon. Okay, and those sucked too. So I am damn close to saying this car doesn't need decals at all.
Might need a little weathering.
No, paint turned out okay.
Okay.
And I mean okay. I don't mean great. I mean okay.
That Super Chrome was all airbrushed on, straight on. No worries.
Yeah, that looks good. Shiny.
That looks nice.
Oh, I like that.
Shiny.
I like it a lot.
That's
I like it. I
Super
like it a
Chrome.
lot.
And once these finish percolating, that's we'll be doing the same thing with those.
All right.
I've got some of the chrome parts out of the
Our front and
second
rear grills and the
that I'm using for kit bashing with this 99 Street Machine truck, sitting in some bleach, and some of the chrome vanished almost immediately, and some of the rest of the chrome, it's like, yeah, no, we gonna sit here for a little while. So that's the only problem with bleach, is sometimes it can take a while.
It can.
But that's fine, because you can put parts in, like I said earlier, you can put parts in bleach, leave it 3-4 months, and the parts are going to be just fine. They'll be good and clean.
I think you're rubbing a sore spot on Mark.
LA Awesome, straight from Dollar General.
I
Yeah.
haven't even bought that stuff yet. People keep saying it's great, but I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah, LA Awesome's pretty good too.
I think to answer Serge's question is he airbrushes on his chrome rather than bare metal foil.
I
You
do
know what?
both. I do both. I've got the
You know
foil
what?
right here. I will do either or. Depends on what
I think
What
he
do
was,
I-
talk-
what would be
he was
easier to
talking
do.
about
Like,
the bumpers on the Mustang.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the ones on the Mustang you just showed.
yeah, well, that has both. That has the bumper, tail lights, those that kind of stuff was all super chrome, but like the window trim was bare metal foil.
I figured out
The
something.
chrome trim around the rear windshield and windshield. That's all.
What'd you figure out, Dart?
I'm done for tonight.
Aw. Get your silly putty out.
I did it right here.
Little stress ball. Squeeze it, hug it, and squeeze it. Call it George. I love the Bugs Bunny Martian cartoon.
I squeeze him and love him and squeeze him and
There
I'm
you go.
gonna name him Chuck.
Yep.
These will be sprayed with AK Super Chrome once all the old chrome finally comes off.
Yeah.
It's on there pretty thick, so it's taking a while. Yeah, this will all be sprayed with the Super Chrome.
Just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's like this. Some of this stuff here. This is the jerry can. Well, half of the jerry can that came with the wedge truck, and as you can see, this backside of it here, that's no longer chrome, and the front side, it some chrome, some not chrome.
Mine did that too.
And same goes for like the fire extinguisher half.
Yeah, that's why I use the purple stuff. It eats through all of it.
So
I just used my X-Acto and started scraping, then sanded it.
I've done that too. Yeah.
so have I. I'd rather not use my X-Acto, especially if it's something that's got a lot of detail in it and it's not just a smooth flat part. Now, if it's just a smooth flat part, then yeah, I'll X-Acto that off all day long.
Well, in my defense, I was already at the point I'm at with this demon, and I didn't give it 2 flying bleeps. I let her eat.
Well, you gave one bleep because you persisted and kept going back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one left.
Good luck on a third beep.
You had one
Yeah, which
left
I like
and
to
you used it.
I got no more beeps to give. My beep's just done beeped off.
We waiting for him to fall asleep again?
We might be.
Hope not, because it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, he looks like he had a hell of a power nap. I think he's good.
I'm just saying, I think some of us have been in a live, whether it be this one or Jeff's, since what, noon?
Well, yeah.
Most of y'all were
7
on
hours
when
ago.
I got on after 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta be at least 7 hours, 8 hours ago. Something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I signed in.
Yeah,
I went out shopping.
Me some
and I
days I end up
cooked
on
dinner.
streams all day long.
Yeah, I
I
logged
went out
into
shopping
Jeff
and cooked dinner and came back.
around
and everybody's
1-ish
still
or
here.
1:30.
I expected Jeff to be done when I showed back up after 9 o'clock, and they were still there. It's like, okay. And then Bob's like, well, I'm going to start at 1. It's like, okay, I might as well stay.
Well, you know
Make up
what
for the
happens
time I
with Jeff
missed.
streams? He says he's
Well, I
going
was
to shut
kinda
down.
roping to
Everybody
start.
comes in.
Yeah. That's right, Faye, but they're not taking my mom grocery shopping tomorrow, which is going to be an all-day event. So
It could be easily an all-day event, yes.
That's kind of like when either my little brother or I take our mom grocery shopping. It's an all-day event. So there.
I taught my mom how to order groceries online and have it delivered.
Might not be a 24-hour event, but by the time you get home, there ain't enough day left to do much.
It just feels like one, yeah.
well, that's her trip
And then
out. So
And then my lovely roommate showed her how to use Temu.
Oh God, you need to
Oh,
keep an eye on
boy.
her accounts.
Oh boy, no, that's not my responsibility. She's not that far. That's on her. But
Yeah, but she needs to be. You need to tell her that that's probably a bad idea, and to be very mindful of her purchases and watch her account. Because
Yeah,
I know
'cause
so
Temu's
many
kinda
people that
sketchy.
ordered one item off there, and then they had multiple repeat attacks on their cards.
well, she said I'm only gonna use it once, and boy did she.
That's all it takes.
That's what they said when they first watched QVC.
No. She used it once. I'll give her that because she.
Right.
I-
But what I'm saying is now they have her information.
Yeah.
One
I
cup
mean,
of coffee? You mean like a 42 ouncer?
She
Cup,
bought
pot.
everything. She re-outfitted her whole kitchen in one purchase.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I get that. If there's something good enough
Oh, yeah.
quality on there, hell yeah, all day long. But it's not a safe place to be shopping.
Yeah, and that's what I told her because I didn't know my roommate had told her about it. I'm like, Mom, if you click the wrong
Smack your
thing,
roommate.
huh?
Smack your roommate.
Well, she hits back. That was a joke. If you can't see me laugh, but I was like, that place isn't safe. She's like, okay, we won't use it no more. I'm like, okay.
Doesn't matter. You done used it once. They've already got your info.
Yeah. But she keeps a hawk eye on that thing on her account too, though. And they turn her account. What do they call it? Turn her account off about every week. They're so good on it.
Yeah, they're always looking at little transactions instead of the bigger ones, like
Yeah.
mine. My credit union, this is asinine, okay? I can literally spend thousands. I can write checks like they're going out of style. I can spend $400, $500, $600. You know what they flagged? A
$5.
$1 transaction. It's a Patreon transaction that I've been giving to the same person almost 8 years.
Yeah. And my mom's
I'm
just
like,
the same way.
I call and I go, are you kidding me? Look at my account. Look at the sheer amount of money that goes through my account on the daily. And you're flagging a less than $2 transaction that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
And then for 2 or 3 months, I don't get flagged. And then it goes right back.
Because I don't know
Same
if y'all have.
transaction, same person, come from the same location, same day, every month, same fucking time of the day. And they start flagging it again.
That's automation for you.
Does anybody here have Amazon?
Yes.
Okay.
I do have
Amazon likes you, and you got Prime, I'm assuming. You know, got all that good shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Has Amazon tried to charge you double yet?
No, never.
Nope.
Okay. They've tried to charge her double 4 times.
Oh wow. Now the only problem I've had with Amazon is every once in a while an order will get lost.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, the
but
only
I'm
real
talking.
major problem I had with Amazon was the time that I ordered that kit and they didn't box it. They put the sticker right on the box art.
That happens to me all the time.
On a box with no cellophane.
Yep, happens to me all the time from Amazon. I rarely order them from Amazon now.
One time. It was the only time.
It comes in a box. It should be shipped in a box. Yeah, another box.
But for actual Prime,
It comes
Prime membership, they've
Terry had
charged her
that double.
double twice.
You ordered
Or
that
4
F
times.
100, and they just put a sticker on it.
Yeah. But when you order something from Amazon, if it's already in a box, you need to put that box in just a plain box so that people handling it as it's being shipped can't see what it is, so that once it
So
lands
you
on
don't
your
damage
board,
the fucking box art.
your neighbors can't see what it is.
Right, that's another thing, a security issue. Yeah.
You know, because it's my firm belief that part of the reason why orders go missing from
But they
Amazon
can see what they are.
is it's not put in any kind of a box, and the people handling it can see what it is, and they'll set it aside and out to their car it goes.
Or they set it on the porch and somebody else liberates it.
Yeah.
Or it's just the drones that put the stickers on don't know no better.
They don't do that no more around here. I put cat shit in it in a box several times. So whenever they opened that, wherever they opened it at, I hope it was right in their car, and I hope it's built. Because me and Kit,
I also had one instance where I had an Amazon driver. He must have been not paying attention to the GPS because where I'm at, it's a cul-de-sac. There's 4 houses here, 5 houses
Mhm.
here, and I'm number 328. So apparently number 326 looked like 328 to him. And my package from Annie Cubic, my resin, was put on my neighbor's porch on a fucking 30-degree day.
Oh,
It was on her porch. She didn't even notice it was on her porch. Her kids didn't notice it was on the porch. Her dog didn't bark at the box. I mean, nobody saw this box on her porch.
and it sat there in that 30-degree weather for a while, and
Yeah, all damn day
Resin don't like
before
that.
I realized, I'm looking at the picture and going, wait a minute. I do, because you know how they give you they take a picture of it on the porch.
Mhm.
I'm like, I know this porch. And my brain went, I bet that asshole saw a 6 instead of an 8. Because it was dusk, it was GPS, using GPS in an unfamiliar neighborhood. He
Mhm.
could easily have transposed the positions on the map.
Yeah.
Mind you, it beeps when you're right in front of the place you're going to. But he still rolled 2 houses up the cul-de-sac and put it on her porch. So I went looking. I'm like looking at the picture, looking at her yard, and I'm like, hey, this is her yard. I walked up, there's my box on the porch. So being a good neighbor, I went knock, knock, knock. I was like, this is mine. I don't know how many hours it's been sitting here, but I figured I'd knock and let you know. So, you weren't afraid that some weirdo or stranger was on your porch, because she's the elderly colored lady and her grandbabies are with her all the time, So it's
Yeah.
like, I just, I'm going to knock and say, hey, delivery person made a boo-boo. These are mine. You can see my name on there. Thank you. Good night. Bye. Took my stuff and came home.
That's only respectful, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just common
But
decency.
the point is
Right.
I shouldn't have had to go hucking around the fucking neighborhood looking for my package.
Right.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I can't quite blame it on them. Well, I can, but I can't. Okay, without giving too much info away. If you put my address in the GPS, right, it takes you next door.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Okay, now
But if you
they
look at the number on the house and then
they
look at
have
the
no
number
numbers on
the
their
next
house. They have no numbers on their house. I have mine on my mailbox and on my front door and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, but they don't. Now, that being said, I have found nobody takes the time to read the numbers on the house.
Yeah,
If the
reading is
GPS
hard.
says that's the house, that's the
That's
house.
where they go.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I know GPS comes right to my house because I can put each number in the cul-de-sac and do a consecutive run, and it goes ding, 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 ding.
And that's usually why I have my shit delivered to another address that
That's why
Yeah.
I have the P.O. box, okay?
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
thinking about it.
I can use the street address of the post office as my street address. Excuse me.
Okay.
To have anything delivered to the P.O. box.
Because if I get a PO box, then y'all can start sending me shit. Like your chuck cards and
Extra
shit.
bottle kits.
No, not what I mean yet. No, I mean I will have to
It's
just
good.
cheap. They're free.
It's good to have a P.O. box, like I said, for the getting packages delivered to a secure location. And so you don't have to give every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the internet your personal address.
Right.
You have control of your own security.
Because I don't know if you were here for that conversation, but we've already had this conversation once today. That no one is welcome at the cave.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. I said it, and it's like if you come here unannounced, you'll leave here in an ambulance.
No,
Or
you
the
ain't
back
even,
of a
I'm not
pickup
even going to
truck.
answer the door.
Fish bait.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to answer the door. You're going to knock, and I'm going to be like, I don't know that motherfucker.
Oh, I'll answer the door. Like I said,
Oh,
I answer the door for Latter-day Saints and Jehovah's Witnesses. They're entertaining as fuck.
No, I don't. All I know is if they come to my house and they don't know me well enough to call me, you don't need to be at my house.
Bingo.
Yeah, coming here unannounced is a bad idea. Very bad idea.
Mama can, Daddy can, and my brother can. Nobody else needs to come.
Right.
No, absolutely no one. comes here
Yeah.
unannounced.
My
No
little
one.
brother doesn't even come over unannounced.
Well,
Kids don't even come home unannounced. Okay.
if my dad comes unannounced, it's important. You know what I mean? It's something's going on. He needs, And if Mama comes, I really need to pay attention because Mom's pretty much homebound.
Yeah, and the thing about that, my mom, little brother, and sister-in-law live far enough away that if they're coming over for something important like that, they got more than enough time to call or text on the way and let me know that they're coming over and it's important.
Exactly.
Yeah, my family lives way too close for that.
I said my son lives up the street. Like I can literally walk there, and my youngest lives here, and my daughter is over an hour away. My sister's over an hour away, and my mom is like an hour and a half away.
Yeah, my mom, little brother,
Even
and
my mom
sister-in-law
won't come out without calling.
taking the highways from where I live to where they live is a 20-minute drive. I'm talking interstates.
Yeah, that's like an hour plus for my people.
Yeah. So they got a minimum of a 20-minute drive to get here. That's plenty of time for them to pick up the phone and either call me or text me and let me know that they on their way and it's something important.
Yeah. But like I said, I just don't answer the door. I really don't. And that's as simple as that. There ain't nothing. No, I don't need to. The dog's like, Dad, answer the door. I want to get him. And I'm like, no. Because if they come through that door, then we have a problem. And
they come through my door, they're getting fish baited.
Well, it's probably not going to end well because that door is locked for your protection.
Yep.
Yeah, for yours, not mine. Exactly.
Some walls are built to keep me out. Other ones are built to keep me in.
I don't even. I don't lock my doors. I've never locked my doors. Don't have a problem.
This is my cave, okay? Leave me in my cave alone, and I will leave you in your cave alone.
Right.
I only ask what I think is reasonable.
I mean, something like this right here, it's about as close to having anybody coming into my actual physical bedroom and hanging out with me as I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. That's why I quit dating. I'm just like
kind of an insult or anything like that against any of y'all because y'all are truly amazing people and I love y'all all to death. But I don't even want my little brother coming over and hanging out with me.
When my kids were small and we used to do birthday parties and other neighborhood kids would come over, having the other kids in my house didn't bother me. Having their parents in my house did.
Right.
And it was a case of, nope, you can leave your kids. Go find something to do for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Be back at 6 o'clock to collect your parcel. Get out.
It's like I don't want to people with you.
I don't want to people with you. These kids are here for my children. Fuck off.
Exactly.
They're not even people with you.
And I team momed and I coached Little League. Okay.
Also, part of that,
but that was not in the house. That was away from the house.
And part of that for me is children aren't going to be looking around at your home and judging you for.
I don't give a flying fuck about that. I just don't want people in my house.
Home and making little snide remarks or whatever. Or
well, the kids aren't there for her; they're there for the other kids.
Parents will. If the stuff you have in your home isn't as good as what they have, they're going to be looking down at you like you're poor and you can't afford and all this, that, and the other. If it's better than what they have, they're going to be looking at you like, what, you think you're better than us? You got all this really super nice stuff? And I don't need that in my life.
Never had that problem.
Me either.
Never had that problem. I have what I need. We've always had what we need, and nothing more than that. And I don't associate with that kind of person.
Right. That is part of what led to the end of my relationship with her is I didn't want to people and she loved the people. And I get it. That's fine. But I didn't want to. Especially the people
at work.
Well, she liked her family and I didn't. That was the biggest part.
Well, that kind of come with the territory, though. You accepted her, you
Yeah.
kind of stuck with them,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah, but
I had a similar
I don't-
problem. Trust me, I
I
get
got-
it.
that was just one of the problems. Like I said, it took two to pick that up, and I did my share of it, and that was my share of it. Is I alienated, is that the right word, myself
Yes.
Yeah.
from her family because they were very, very manipulative.
No, you removed yourself from a toxic environment. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Called self-preservation.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
But-
and it's like I said, I personally get enough social.
Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to call it now. So I want to say thanks for coming in. And
Thanks for having us here, Bob.
All
Right.
right, Bob, thank you for hosting, brother. And for everybody that
we'll
was
be back
either
live Thursday night.
on screen with us or in the chat, thank you for being here.
Hey, look, I found the door. I let myself out. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks,
So,
Bob.
Good night,
Sorry we got
everybody.
off topic, brother.
I didn't realize there was a topic for tonight
That's all right.
What's that?
with Jeff's.